everybody.
Thank you.
Hi, Moon.
How's everybody feeling today?
Not wanting to be here. Hey!
What?
Yeah.
Is that because you spent the weekend in Colorado?
Yeah. Coming home to St. Louis after being in nature and with my family in another place, we were just like running that town. I go, oh my God, I got to go back to work. I had to get up at 3:30. No!
Well, we could tell you were a little bit out of it, and in true Rizz fashion, since I'm in Rizz's chair, I have to point out the fact that you were in here without your headphones. The intro started. She ran outside. She said, "Oh my gosh, I got to get my headphones." And Rizz would sit here and say, "You know, that's like a doctor showing up without a stethoscope."
It was.
Yes, that's
Which,
right.
by the way, we know, we've been reminded by most doctors out there aren't wearing stethoscopes.
No, they're not. It's not
They're
the
hip
50s
now.
anymore. Right. We know. No, I know. I usually have 10 million bags with me, and I didn't bring the big old bag that has like everything I need to do this job. So my apologies,
Survival
folks.
Pack.
No worries. Hey, I was going to say it's almost the entire show back together, but of course, right when we have that opportunity, Rizz bails. Rizz is out, but not for the entire week, just for the first couple days. He is in Dominican Republic, and from what I understand in our text thread, he made it just fine. No weirdness. Remember, he went down there, Frontier Airlines. He was really worried. He went back to the devil. As far as the budget airline that left him in the Dominican Republic a few years ago during 2020.
Well, he has to
Lucky.
get back on it, right? So let's not say he's all good yet, because if they don't bring him back, then it's going to be a repeat
That's
of what
true.
happened.
That
It
could
is
be
a Frontier
fun, yeah.
Airlines round trip.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
But Rafe is back.
Yeah, Rafe is back.
I'm back, baby.
2 weeks in L.A. for Netflix is a joke festival. Tell us a little bit about what happened.
Oh, Lord. So much happened. One, my body is I'm barely hanging on by a thread because my...
Hey, you came in sounding like a 100-year-old smoker.
Yeah, I'm too old.
Sam Elliott is
I think
here.
I'm too old to be on L.A. after party time. I spent most of my nights in my Airbnb watching you guys come on the air, being like, oh, my God, it's 6 a.m. where I live. This is crazy. But it was good. A lot of
gotta go
cool
to sleep.
shows, a lot of fun, a lot of famous people, a lot of wild L.A. times. It was good. I got to do some cool venues. I got to open the Troubadour. That was
Wow.
That's
is
a cool
cool as
spot.
heck.
that was fun. Did a sold out show at the Troubadour. That was like a nice little put it in your pocket moment.
Is comedy cool there? I mean, I've played there and I've been there for many concerts, but I'm trying to imagine.
It works good
It was
there.
probably my favorite show.
What can we
That's a good
compare?
room for that.
Yeah, what can we compare the Troubadour to
Like the Fox?
here?
No,
No.
never been.
No.
Would have been
It's like
small.
Irving Plaza in New York. It's like
the old venue that was on Washington, because it's like flat. It's not.
Galaxy.
Yeah, Galaxy.
So imagine if Galaxy had a balcony and it was kind of real close
Right
to you. So
on
if-
you.
Yeah, so if you're on the balcony, you could it's one of those where you could stand on the rail and jump and almost hit the stage.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't want to do that.
But it's from the cowboy days.
Yeah, it's old school, very, very famous. You've seen
Oh, yeah.
all the marquees, all the famous marquees of,
All I could think in the green room was looking at this old tattered couch was like, man, a lot of people got banged on
Oh
that
my
couch.
God,
Oh,
everybody got
nice.
banged.
yes, that
Like,
is.
I'm sitting where Vince Neil and Axl Rose and probably Elton
I didn't
John
know they did that stuff together.
a
all got
tremendous,
banged out.
a tremendous array of
Take
DNA.
the black light to that couch, right?
Dude, I would not want to.
So much
and
history.
It looked old. I was like, they had these little benches, and I sat on the benches, and it was there with Nicole Byer, and she's like, "Well, you sit on the couch, it's more comfortable." And I go,
No.
I
I'm not
can't
getting
stop
pregnant
thinking about-"
today.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
go, you're gonna have to go get a Plan B just from sitting on it.
Yeah, that's a plastic bag, then sit sort of.
But it was
situation.
cool. It was a cool venue. It was a great show. Got to go go up at the Comedy Store for the first time. That was a nice little. Yeah, that was fun, man. That was cool.
Wow, that's huge.
Open for the Sklar Brothers, St. Louis's own.
Ah,
Nice.
yes.
Lots of St. Louis was Tim Convey, Sklar Brothers.
Tim and Greg, yeah. I opened Greg's
Greg
show
was
with
there.
Tim. That was fun. Opened with Jay Farrell at the Improv. That
So
was a
awesome.
cool.
All friends of the
it was
show.
a good. It was a big. It's the Netflix festival. They're like flexing on how much pull they have in comedy. It was crazy, man. But they did have a nice little like Coachella backstage setup this time, like a behind the Hollywood Palladium. Everybody could come after their shows and hobnob and
mingle.
mingle, and that was cool. You know, it's not my favorite part of comedy. I'll be honest. Like
The schmoozing.
The schmoozing industry. I get a little.
It's probably not.
I don't mean that like jokingly. You're such a people person, and
I like the people. I like seeing my friends. I don't like seeing my friends turn into different versions of themselves in front of people who can help their career.
Well, that's the music
cool
business.
salesmen.
I'm sure it's the same in the music business, man. It's just like everybody wants it so bad, and I get it. It's part of the deal, but sometimes I'm just like, I like to hang when it's all comics. Some industry people are cool, are very chill. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. So I was watching John Mulaney's Everybody's in L.A. So Netflix is a joke. Everybody's in L.A. How did those two things run parallel? Like, were they integrated? Like, all the comedians who went on Mulaney's show came out to the Netflix is a joke festival? Because, like, Jerry Seinfeld was in episode 1. Nikki Glaser, I think, was in the last episode. Did all of those people kind of intermingle with the two events in L.A. that were happening?
What events? What do you mean?
Like, Everybody's in L.A., that show that was live on Netflix.
Yeah, that was just like.
Was it a part of that?
Yeah, I mean, it was comics from the fest. Like it was like, dude, some of the shows would be so crazy. In fact, like, I think they could shrink it. It's so big, it would be like Jerry Seinfeld, Nate Bargatze, Sebastian Maniscalco, and Jim Gaffigan doing the Hollywood Bowl.
Wow.
What's one show? Versus, at the same time, it would be like Cat Williams and Earthquake. Versus Amy Poehler and Tina Fey doing a Q&A.
Smoke.
Versus Conan O'Brien, Conan Needs a Friend.
They're basically launching South by Southwest in LA.
Yeah, and they only do it every 2 years, and I would imagine that's why. It's the scope of it is so huge, but it's so you know how LA is, man. It's so sprawling.
Yeah.
At least South by Southwest is Austin.
All on 6th Street. It's all in one spot.
It's not like that there. Like, I stayed in West Hollywood because that's where the clubs were, so I was getting like spots at Hollywood Palladium, Improv, Laugh Factory, Comedy Store were all walking distance for me, which was nice because that's where I would go hang. And, get thrown up on a couple shows. But it was cool. It was a good thing for my career. I met some people, and it was it's a good stepping stone. It was nice to be invited. It's nice to see your name on the poster next to some of your heroes. That's kind of a cool feeling. It's still new to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm an old fart, but I've only been doing comedy since I was 33. So,
any issues on the flights? Because we talk about flights a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Just want to make sure that you're okay. You didn't.
Well, you guys talked about the first flight out already, right?
Yeah. What happened?
I don't remember. Guys,
I had a hell of a weekend too. So
our flights are much. What happened?
yeah, I feel like I haven't seen you since January.
Yeah, because
your phone broke.
the phone issue.
Yeah.
Your
I have
phone broke.
got a new iPhone. Everybody, check it out.
Oh, neat.
And it's exactly like the old iPhone. I haven't noticed one single difference, to be honest with you. Even nice upgrade for a couple grand. I had a very skittish lady on my Southwest flight who spilled. I think it might have been her first time ever leaving.
Yeah.
Maybe her hometown, maybe Missouri. She was in the middle seat. I was in the window. Husband in the aisle. Husband clearly was handling everything. Airport dad. And she was very like, the flight attendant was like, ma'am, you got to put your bag further under the seat. And, she was like, Gerald, is she talking to me? And he's like, yes, Lydia, she's talking to you. And she had her iPad out and was watching a movie. And, like, I don't know if she got tunnel vision or what, but when they hand the drinks out on the Southwest flight, you guys know they get those little, like, plastic open cups.
Yeah. Wrapped in a napkin.
Wrapped in a napkin. The lady put her hand like above the middle seat. I reached over to grab it. Our hands met, and the lady goes, ah! Threw her hands up, spilled water onto my crotch. The whole thing went on my crotch.
Oh. At least it wasn't coffee.
Yeah.
Well, why did she do this?
That's true. I don't know. I think she was just a very excitable woman. And then, excuse me. Then, so I rode to L.A. with a wet package and ass because it went like down under the seat. So I was sitting in a puddle and I was like trying to put those little napkins down under there.
Did she have headphones on?
No.
I was like, maybe she was listening. Throw your hands in the air. If you use it to play.
You look like those $500.
I saw what she was watching.
Balenciaga jeans that they were selling that looked like you peed yourself.
She was watching that Netflix movie with the good-looking guy from the new Top Gun and what's her name with the big boobies?
Miles Teller?
Sydney Sweeney. Oh, Anyone But You.
Yeah, she was watching Anyone But You. She must have been really into it.
Yeah, I've heard it's really good.
And then when I got off the plane, I was like, her and her husband were poking along as they do, and I tried to pass her on the right, had my phone out, to order an Uber, and then she got startled again and goes, ah!
Yeah.
And when she threw her hands up, she slapped my phone up, and I watched it land face down on the hard tile floor of the airport, and it was game over, dude.
Well, you were texting me
Golly.
about something, and you're like, oh my, you voice to text because you couldn't see your screen. You're like, you're like, I'm just
Yeah, I'm sure that was a
blindly
mess. Sorry
texting
about
you.
that.
No, and then I was like, I'm gonna call him because I figured if you couldn't see anything, I'm like, can I help in any way or whatever? Like, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do.
Yeah, my screen went like blank, but I realized, I was like, man, because I'm prepared, I had written down all the addresses and stuff.
Nice.
That's my like travel.
Wow, that was
Oh,
Where it
man.
finally came in handy, dude.
Ma'am, would you like some pretzels?
Yes, I would.
I'm on an airplane.
so.
Gerald.
So she offered to buy you a new phone.
yeah,
No,
did
she
say
didn't
anything?
apologize either time.
Oh,
Not really.
Weird.
She was
So
nervous.
nice.
She was like, oh my God. I'm so, like, she let me know that she was startled, but never
Never said sorry.
said sorry.
She just said, "Oh, I got so freaked out."
This is like a comedy movie though, where it's that one guy that's sitting in the seat that he gets everything just dumped on him.
Mm-hmm.
This is a
Well, I
pretty
wanted
impressive.
to know what, I'm like, hey, lady, what part of LA are you going to be in? Because I'm going to avoid that part of LA.
Right.
Bummer.
So then I and I had like that giant, you guys make fun of it. I had that giant like phone case. It's pretty, up until that point, it had to land just perfectly flat.
Oh, that's the
It's pretty. So I didn't think anything of it. I picked it up and then they skittered about. And then this phone was green, and I was like, man, I don't know how I'm going to do anything here for the next 10 days. And then I realized that I could use Siri still. So I was like, Siri, texts so-and-so.
No.
And I could see that she had texted, Lern had texted me, because it was like the screen would flash every once in a while, and you could see who your last...
Random letters.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it was almost like a hostage letter.
Like a little puzzle.
Have landed safely, I don't know. So I sent a voice text that I'm sure was a garbled, because I know they're never right.
Yeah. Well, you're like, to see it being so odd, I was like, oh my God, I got to make sure my pal's all right. So I called. I'm like, are you good? Like, can I call you an Uber? Like, because you couldn't.
You're
do
like, is this
anything
one
on
of the
your phone.
scams we were talking about? Hello, I'm in LA. Phone broke. Please call Uber. Send money. Cash App.
What's your secret word, Rafe? What's your secret word?
Did you get your new phone there?
Yeah, I had to go to an
Okay.
Apple store and just.
I remember you said you
Bite
want to
the
go out there
bullet,
and buy a
man.
new phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
now
like,
you got
that'll be cheap.
I
Yeah, I
got a
wanna go to-
California phone. That's cool.
Your photos have been extra crisp
Yeah, dude. Very
on
beachy.
Instagram.
Dude, it's a cool
It's
beach
got a
phone.
surf. You even got a surf color,
Yeah, dude.
like coral green or whatever the heck
Surf's
that is.
up.
Yeah, Space gray, I believe, is what they call that.
Oh, space gray. Sorry.
Yeah, it's very
Looked a little
beach.
green to me.
Beachy color.
But all around success, other than just wearing your body down, that is like something that you and I talk about so much with the rock and roll and the comedy thing. Is we go out and do this weekend stuff, and it's the opposite schedule. Like it's truly the opposite schedule. So it's like Saturday and Sunday rock and roll, nighttime work, and then right back to
Yeah.
the 3 a.m. thing. So your body is
I was
suffering.
surprised at how quickly my comedian muscle memory of being a late night guy came back.
Oh yeah.
Now, I don't know how much the early morning guy is going to come back, because he was never really here anyway.
Yeah, I'm not sure
I don't
that's
think
ever
he's
a
for
natural
any
thing.
of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
He's not showed up yet for me. Late night guy's still here.
But I feel okay today.
Good.
Good.
So I'll take that as a win. It was good. It was fun. It was a really cool experience. It was still, for me, comedy's still fun. I'm not jaded on it yet. Like I have colleagues that are. I just had a good time trying to be in the moment, enjoy where I'm at in my career, And there was some good stuff. Like there was industry of all times. There was like, the president of Netflix was there,
Right on.
which was wild. And I actually loved, one of the funniest things that happened at the festival. Do you guys know who Mark Reblay is?
No.
You guys ever seen the
Oh,
dude?
that's the DJ guy in the underwear.
Yeah, the guy on the internet.
Oh, yeah,
where
you
he's like,
posted about him.
Wake up, get up.
Yeah, he's like it's okay. So like everybody's doing the DJ stuff and it's like killing it, right? And he's like, "Oh, I need a shtick," and he's just the crazy. I'm gonna look like I'm on Adderall.
Yeah.
Kind of vibe. He comes out. He's got cool kind of like 70s hair. He's like, I'm in a robe in my underwear and I'm gonna throw t-shirts.
Oh,
first.
yeah, he's in like a ton of commercials.
Yeah,
now
but he's
and stuff.
huge.
Yeah.
I'd never heard the name before, except for I think
Okay.
Rafe mentioned him because you're a fan, right? Because you had mentioned him before.
I was unaware that he was as funny as he is.
Yeah, it's super funny.
It made me laugh so hard because he went up at Netflix as a joke festival under a giant Netflix sign, and he was like, it's all improvised. So the guy's name is like Ted Serranos, is like the name owner of Netflix, and he just goes, who here likes to watch their stories on Hulu? And everybody booed, and he's like, suck it, Hulu. And then he's like, who wants to stream season 6 of their favorite program on Max? And there was like, boo. And he goes, suck it, Max. And then like he goes, who here wants to watch their favorite show on Netflix? And everybody cheered, and he goes, suck it, Netflix. You don't own me. And the whole set, he was just bashing Netflix at their own event.
Gosh, that's
And I was
beautiful.
dying laughing, falling on. I'm like, this guy, this is true edgelord comedy. It's not the stuff you see now. Like the ultimate punching up. You're biting the hand that's feeding you in real time, outside.
In your underwear.
In your underwear.
Oh, that is so good.
Good for him.
And I was dying laughing. He's like, Netflix needs your money. They're broke. They've been operating in the red. They can't afford this festival. If you knew what they paid me, you'd throw up. And,
Here comes the drop.
yeah, and then he like make the smoke go off, and the beats were actually good. And I was like, this dude's pretty funny, man. Like,
That's great.
so
It's
there
a
were
mix
like
of-
pleasant surprises like that.
It's a
I
nice-
met Post Malone too.
It's a nice mix of
really?
everything that's hot.
You met Post Malone?
Post Malone was at the Comedy Store after party, and there's like this little bar in the back. Name drop, and they give me that name drop button.
That's a hot take.
That's not the right
All
button.
right, it is also a hot take.
That's a name.
Drop, yeah.
Yeah, keep going.
It was just funny because there's like this little part in the back of the Comedy Store where comedians can go, which was nice. You know, it's like the little secret hang or whatever. But we were in there, and Post Malone walked in, and the guy's like, "It's too crowded. If you're not a paid regular, get out." And I'm like, "It's not one guy joined. We're one guy deeper than we were."
Mm-hmm.
So we all left, and then he'd go out and smoke a cigarette in the back, and he'd be like, "You guys can go back in there now." And
So
then,
Post Malone comes in, Rafe goes out.
yeah, pretty much. So that's how I met him on the way out. High-fiving him on the way out.
Hey, man, it's good to see you again.
But it happened 4 times because he'd go smoke a cigarette. They'd be like, "You guys can go back in there." We'd go back in. Post Malone finish his cig, come back in. They'd be like, "It's too crowded."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "All right, just say Post Malone's here.
Right.
Stop
Yeah.
trying to say it's
just,
crowded."
Just say smoke break.
Yeah.
when I
So that
can
was
come
kind of
back in.
funny.
Andy went
That's
backstage at the Brady Roast.
Yeah. that's
Briefly,
so-
yeah. They booted us out of there quick.
That's incredible.
But I did see all those guys.
Like which ones?
Ben Affleck.
That's a name.
Saw Brady.
That's a name.
Saw Nikki.
That's a name.
Saw Gronk.
Nope, no, not for
Oh,
that.
not a name. Oh, ow.
Not worth it there.
Gosh.
Just kidding.
That's a name.
That's sweet.
That was the whole.
Will Ferrell?
Did not see Kevin Hart. Too short.
Oh.
Too short. Couldn't
yeah.
see ya.
I didn't see Will Ferrell back there when I was back there.
You know, I don't see height, but now that I know
You're
that
height
you
blind.
do,
How
That's very
it
cool.
changes my
how
whole
tall
opinion.
is Kevin Hart? He's taller, or I'm taller than him, I think.
It was wild, man. There was a lot of cool stuff. It was just neat to like.
Yeah, I got 1 inch on Kevin Hart. Hell yeah.
How tall is
I'm
Nice.
5'3", he's 5'2". Back to
5'2".
you.
Wowie.
He's a big guy.
You tower above Kevin Hart.
I tower.
Hey,
above
as my
Kevin
dad used to
Hart.
tell me when I was a kid, you know, the size of the man is in here.
Right.
All right? It's in here.
Yeah, well, my heart's
This is
bigger
what
than-
dads tell short kids.
I'm pointing to my heart, by the way.
Right.
Just if there's any confusion out there.
Yeah.
Watch our YouTube stream. Thanks.
My dad was concerned with my heart,
Right.
and that's it. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Heart of a lion. So yeah, that part was cool. There's a lot of celebrity, and you know, it was wild to like look up and see Jerry Seinfeld, Jim Gaffigan, and Caroline Ray like just standing over next to me, like not being able. Go ahead, drop them. I'm dropping home.
That's a name.
To me, it was cool. Still, you know, like
Yeah. Glad to have you back. Safe flight. Nothing. Nobody's throwing phones at you or spilling
flight
water
back
on
was
you.
pretty chill. Saw some Rizz folk. Shout out to the Rizz folk I saw. I wasn't in my best condition. I was feeling kind of sick. They were coming back from a sister's wedding. They were cool folks. So shout out to a couple of Rizz heads I saw on the plane on the way back.
That's
and
awesome.
no, nothing major happened on the way back. I was pleased. I actually slept. I was that tired and sick. I don't
you
sleep
could
on
sleep
planes.
on a plane.
It takes a lot to get me to sleep on a plane, and I did it.
It does take a lot.
That's
man.
Mooners, I want to talk about Disney. I saw
Yeah.
so much content. My best friend, thank you and Tim Convey put my girlfriend Abby on the list. She brought her daughter to her first concert.
Yeah.
They loved it.
It was truly amazing.
Yeah.
Truly amazing. We had over 3,000 people go through the pageant that day. And, I mean, it is It is such an undertaking, but like, and I even said this to the band, it hit me just before the first show. Like, you know, Tim and I and a lot of the band members and everybody up on stage, we've done a lot of really, really cool rock and roll stuff the last 25 years. And the older you get, the more you start really being concerned with like meaning. And am I doing things that have like real meaning? And not that all the rock stuff and whatever hasn't had a ton of meaning, but there was just something completely different about this. And we did it last year, of course, but it was such a whirlwind of like, oh my gosh, figuring it out and like, you know, throwing it all together. This year, just beforehand, I was so proud of the show that we put together. Before we even performed it, I was like, people are they're gonna lose their heads. Like if I was a kid and I saw something like this, I'd be ruined because every concert would never measure up. I would never see Darth Vader and all these stormtroopers and Chewbacca and all these real deal looking princesses and all the Disney stuff, plus the light show and the video stuff and the rock and roll. I was so proud of the show before we even pulled it off. And I just told the band, like, hey, man, this has so much meaning to me because we were able to build something and continue building something that really, like, brings our community together.
Yeah.
And we met so many parents and so many kids, and the late show was wild too. That was different because that was obviously like more adults. It was probably only like I don't know, 15%, 20% kids at the second show.
I wondered the difference.
It was a big difference, and the energy is different too. And next year, I think we may actually do different sets. You know?
What do you mean?
Well, I'd like some of the more older songs at the later show.
Okay.
And some of like the newer, fresher songs.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know what I mean? Like
because it's a younger crowd in the 3 p.m.
Yeah, and make two completely different sets. But anyways, I just you know, I was just so proud of us for doing something that really brings the community together, and it just felt so meaningful to me to be able to be a part of something so cool for kids to introduce them and everybody into this meld of two big things that are huge for me. You know, my family was involved, my daughter sang, and my wife sang, and
who was Mal dressed up as this year?
Mal was Jasmine.
Love it.
She does Whole New World with us.
That's who that was.
And King Scott over here was the Beast for the 3 p.m. show.
Oh, that's so great.
And I danced.
And he looked great. We saw so many RizzShow members, you know, team Rizz members and RizzShow listeners, and it was just freaking incredible, dude. And like I said, like we wanted to design it just like Disney would want it designed, and that is something that's family friendly. Yeah, it's for the kids, but it's also for the adults without kids, and just like for everybody. Mm-hmm. And that was the greatest compliment that we got. It was that we really pulled that off, and it was such an undertaking. But again, probably the hardest I've ever worked to put a rock show together.
I'm so glad you were at the pageant as well because Delmar Hall's incredible, but for that big of a setup you guys had, remember how packed it was?
Oh my gosh,
you're squeezing through things. It was nice to see people able just to easily walk in, walk out.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys crushed it, man.
Thanks, man.
It was so organized and just I don't know, it was just beautiful.
I loved so I was in Colorado, and my bestie, she's like sending me photos on Saturday of the kids, and like just they danced, you know, they were kind of like timid. They didn't want to dress up yet. They were like, we'll just go with our normal clothes. But they had such a good time, and it like warmed my heart to see her kids finally kind of seeing music for the first music that they understand and can digest, that they have connection to, which is what all of us that love music has. But whenever they get older, they'll have better, you know, different, instead of Disney, they'll have like their bands that they love subjectively. But like to see it through her kids' eyes was so fun for me to witness. So, and how did that feel from being on stage and having kids out there instead of adults for that 3 p.m. show? Like, is it the same energy?
It is the same energy, but it's actually
the mosh pit's different.
Small,
the mosh pit's a little
like
shorter.
Intense.
It is a little different, but at the same time, it kind of like, in a good way, it increases the pressure, and I like pressure. And I think I even mentioned this in the first show. I was like, you know, like in my teen years and early 20s, I was a camp counselor, and when you're a camp counselor and you like really care about it, you know that like one little thing you say or do or something like that can have such an impact in a kid's life, more so than in an adult's life. So it like puts this pressure on where like you want to really deliver something that is special, seems special, and gives them like just such a cool view of performance, or of art, or of rock and roll, or guitar playing, or drumming, or
it's the first show. It's the first thing they're going to see, possibly.
Yeah, and you just want to make it as mind-blowingly fun as possible. And the real pressure comes from, like, I like 3.5-hour movies, you know what I'm saying? But most kids can't even stand for 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
So the biggest compliment, we got hundreds of emails already from this weekend. The biggest compliment was, hey, I got a kid that doesn't sit still for a TV show, and they loved all 97 minutes.
How cool.
Wow.
Like stood still and was like, holy smokes, sang all the words. And, I know we're talking a lot about kids, and that's, a big part of the show. But, again, a big part of the design was, Lern, I know you're not like a huge Disney fan or any of that kind of stuff. And unless you're bringing a nephew or a niece or something like that, you're probably not going to end up at our show. But some people are going to end up at that show kind of being, we'll say, quote unquote, dragged along. Right. I want to make sure that you're entertained too. And you go, holy crud,
Dude,
I do know this song, and I never imagined it in this version.
When you guys performed in here, I even said that to you, which I think is the highest compliment you can get, because I'm not like resistant of it. I'm just not a Disney adult. I don't care if you are, like whatever. But you guys in here, that energy and how much fun it was, and it brought back a sense of nostalgia even for my cold ass heart. Like you, for real, like I could tell, like people that are into that and gonna go, they're gonna be over the moon.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, and as also not the biggest, like I haven't really paid attention to a lot of the Disney movies in the last few years or anything, and you think you don't know any of this stuff. You're gonna be like, I haven't seen Lion King, I haven't seen these,
right?
And you go and you're like, oh my gosh, I know that one.
Remember it, yeah.
But it's actually better, I think, than the scores I've heard through the years. I'm like, this is way more fun. I like the presentation of this, and it also makes you like, maybe I could be a Disney fan.
Yeah,
this is fun.
Right.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, my brother was able to make the show.
Oh, great,
dude! Like, praise God, the dude walked.
How
into the show.
Amazing is that?
So yeah, they got this like brace for his leg, so he was able to actually come in and
I saw a robot walking.
Yeah, he was C-3PO in there, but he was able to sit in the reserve section, and my parents were there. My mother's 80 plus years old. She hasn't seen a Disney movie in 15, 20 years at best. You know what I mean? But even she was like, a lot of those songs, I don't know what this Bruno thing is. I don't know what the heck that is, but it was really cool. She's like, it was entertaining. You could sing along by the end of it. You kind of knew the chorus at least, the deliveries of it. So that was really cool. But it was something really special. I hope we continue to grow it. And this is definitely something we'll do every year.
Nice.
I would love to. Yeah, I would love to do. I'd love to go bigger and bigger and bigger. And of course, we were there. I was there the day before setting up, and we were there for probably 9 a.m. till about midnight.
That's a long day.
Jeez.
It was a long day. And yesterday, dudes, I was sore as heck. By the way, King Scott was like the greatest beast of all time. Truly, truly a hit. There were people lined up to take pictures with the princesses and with this guy as the beast. And then, of course, the 501st from Star Wars. They are incredible. The 78th Explorers version is Squadron or whatever is what we have here in St. Louis. They donate their time to go to children's hospitals and all these different events and all this kind of stuff. It is all a donation thing for them. So for them to give us an entire day. Oh, and did you see the Star Wars thing that we did?
Mm-mm.
We did an entire Star Wars thing on stage, an entire presentation, and had 2 kids who did not even get to rehearse with us, 16-year-olds that are in martial arts. They go to Premier Martial Arts out in Wildwood.
Yeah.
Do full-on demos as Jedi Masters with lightsabers. Holy smokes, brought the house down.
That's
these
cool.
2 kids. Yeah, so
They actually
congratulations.
hit a couple stormtroopers though, so that was kind of grotesque.
Yeah, they battled the Force. I mean, they battled the Empire. So Emmy and Giancarlo, shout out to those guys.
Those guys were great, man. The one I
congrats.
saw in the first one, which one, I don't know his name, but yeah, that kid was really talented.
Yeah, it was super fun.
Yeah.
But then yesterday is Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And we had all these plans. We were going to go to church. We were going to go see my mother-in-law. We were going to drop by my mom's house. We were going to do the tour.
The mother tour.
Yeah, as we say, the tour. And we didn't leave the house.
I didn't blame you. I kept peeking over at church. I was like, he's probably here somewhere. And then I'm like,
dude,
there's no way.
I couldn't physically move.
I get it.
I felt so good. I was on such a high for all of Saturday. I was just like so happy, so relieved at the end, that everything went well. And then I woke up and I just couldn't move. And my wife, not thank goodness, but she was sore too. And she's like, I can't go anywhere, man. I mean, Rafe is dying from the last couple weeks of having his schedule, and
I'm hurting for sure.
I'm dying. And then I read this. The very first thing when I get here this morning is, when does the average person really start feeling aches and pains? And I was like, oh man,
Age-wise?
yes,
Oh,
age-wise.
give me this.
If you're 36, hang on tight. You're in for a wild ride. And this is the greatest part, there was a lot of kids, and my kids were working the show on Saturday, and we had a dressing room for the ladies and a dressing room for all the horn players and all that. And I was talking to Aaron, our Barry sax player, and he comes in, and while he's talking, I'm doing like yoga poses, and I'm stretching my back, and I'm doing all these stretches. And I said, "How old are you, man?" He said, 41. I was like, dude, from 41 to 43, everything just started getting so much tighter, so much more sore. But a new poll found the average person starts feeling aches and pains at age 37.
Nice.
That's when your back starts barking, your knees start to buckle. Back pain wasn't actually people's top complaint. The top 3 spots were older Americans having pain right now with their legs, their neck, and their shoulders. And then that's exactly what I couldn't move yesterday. Legs, neck, shoulders.
I'm 39, and I keep wondering, like, is it going to happen soon? Because a lot of my friends who are my age are like, yeah, is it my back, or I got this arthritis, or my fingers or my appendages are numb, and I don't have any of that, knock on wood, like, yet. But I think it's 40, it's happening, right? Like,
maybe, but you're still
happen.
working out. You're taking care of yourself.
Sort of, yeah. I need to do better. I need to do so much better.
I don't know.
Play in the yard.
You're 45. It hurts.
Shut up.
Okay.
Hey, yeah, old man, how's it feel?
Yeah, what's it?
You were the first grandpa in the room.
46, right? Oh, God.
I feel no pain.
What hurts the most
I am
on
made
you?
of iron.
You're a slow walker, but I don't know if that's because you're just like a mosier, or if that's because your legs
About
are
to go to the bathroom.
Oh, I'm a mosier, I guess.
Jason Mosier.
You're a slow walker, is that what you said? Mm-hmm. That's funny.
It's noticeably slow. Like I would say mosey, but
Saunter?
it's slower than a mosey.
Everybody says I walk way fast, way hard, and that I stretch.
Way hard, dude.
I'm a
You're
hard
like
walker.
a knee locker.
Yeah,
You're
you
like,
can hear you
thunk,
coming
thunk,
down the hallway.
And I don't know what my problem is. Like, I don't try to walk hard, but, I guess I do with purpose. Or
I think I'm just cool.
You just cool.
yeah.
You just walk
I think
with
my body's just
kinda-
like,
swagger.
gotta have that
We're
swag.
good.
You need
No-
like a cigarette and like a vodka, not a vodka, but a
Yeah.
martini in your hand, like walking.
I am a saunterer. I have been told that before. I don't, I'm just laid back. I think it's just my walk mirrors my personality.
Not because you're sore in any way.
No,
What are your sore spots? What are the worst?
I don't really. The only thing that really the only thing that I would say does happen is injury. You're more prone to injuries that are not high impact related. A sneeze could put you down, or I had to go to I went to a doctor for my shoulder, and he's like, "You play tennis?" No. He goes, "Oh, like pickleball or something?" I go, "No." He goes, "Oh, something. Your shoulder's all messed up." And I was like, "I sleep on my right side a lot." He goes, "How old are you?" I goes, "Yeah, that could be
Shut
it."
up.
I'm like,
Oh,
the
my
crushing weight of my
gosh.
own fat body has given me a tennis-like injury, and that's the repercussions of getting older more than anything, I think.
Yeah, it says all those aches and pains are slowing us down too, because when we wake up sore, it takes us an average of 7 extra minutes to get ready in the morning.
Yeah,
Just
I'm pretty
from
fortunate
sleep.
because my aches and pains are like I had whatever it was called, plantar fasciitis at one point. And
Oh
then,
yeah, you two were really like
yeah,
getting on about that.
my heel can hurt sometimes if I'm like Saturday was an all day, just event after event. It seemed like, and Sunday at 3 worship service, all that. So yesterday I took a nap. When I got up, the backs of my heels were super sore.
Need to get you some plain white New Balance, dude.
I guess so,
You need
man.
to go to
No,
the good
I need
feet store.
boots. I need
go all
I need
out.
to wear boots all the time. And but yeah, that's pretty much my only pain because I do like when I was in my 30s, I started getting really bad lower back pain.
That's my fault.
And
Posture's terrible.
So I had a guy, the doctor made me go to this guy, and he taught me how to stretch all that out, and so I still do those stretches.
Good.
And no back pain, really. Yeah, I rarely have it.
28% of Americans say they deal with some sort of chronic pain on a daily basis. Less than a third said that they've been totally pain-free over the past month. 22% of us would give up social media to feel fewer aches and pains.
You need to. Actually, on Tina's podcast, Slap City, she was talking about how all of us are looking down at our phones, and it is messing with our lumbar system, our posture, our necks. I mean, we're all going to have like weird shaped spines in 100 years because of how often we're looking down. So I'm like constantly cognizant of that and straightening my back up and looking at my phone, like holding it in front of my face instead of looking down. I'm trying to do that.
Do you try to correct it?
I do. Yeah.
Do you try to overcorrect?
Probably, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I
what
was
do you
getting
do?
my brows waxed on Thursday after the show.
And you're like, can you do it with me staring at the clouds?
And I was like slunched over, looking kind of gross. And I go, oh, wait, I got to. And the lady who's doing it, she and I both like straightened up our posture, like put our shoulders back. And then
Because you're trying to buy back the hunched over minutes.
Right. But then you look like an alien. Like nobody sits like this. Nobody has their posture.
No, but it
with
feels
their
better, doesn't it?
shoulders square.
So I've noticed if
You look perfect right now. Like that's how you're supposed to look.
This is how we're supposed
but
to
you
look.
feel like an alien.
I feel like an a-hole right now. Like because when you do this, it's more confident. Like you feel like you're broadening up.
Yeah.
And nobody can mess
we have
with
a lot of hunchbacks right now. I've noticed I have a lot of friends that are hunchbacks.
Everybody, yeah.
This is how I always sit, dude.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, put your arms
This
down.
is like my natural.
If I'm on a
just
couch at
chilling.
home, I always have I put a pillow back there so that way it forces me to sit up straight.
So would you give up social media
Yes.
No.
for no aches and pains?
I would.
No, I'll just tough it out.
Would you give up cheese? 18% say they would give up cheese to get rid of aches and pains. I'm not sure about cheese. You know what?
I mean, maybe. I don't care.
Define aches and pains.
What kind of cheese?
When's
All
the last
cheese?
time I had cheese?
All cheese.
White
man.
cheddar cheese?
Cheese is cheese.
Yeah.
25% say they would give up coffee for fewer aches and pains.
That's dumb.
Nah, I mean after the headaches,
Yeah, I mean,
I guess I would do it
this
too.
is an easy trait if you can. That's such a broad. There's not much I wouldn't give up if I get to define. If I never have to be sick and I feel great all the time, you don't need coffee.
Yeah,
if you have that.
I totally agree. I think I'd give it
Yeah.
all up.
Sure, of course.
Here's another one. If your idea of spending quality time outside is walking, 100 feet over to Starbucks rather than going through a drive-through, there's a reason you don't feel revived every day. According to a new poll, the average American needs to spend, by the way, 67 minutes outside each day in order to feel refreshed.
I'm down.
Wow.
So that's like walking 4 miles over to Starbucks. Easy enough right now, but it's getting warmer out. It's not too hot. The real struggle is those 67 minutes in January in the Midwest or July in Arizona. How do they define feeling refreshed? About 2 in 3 people say being outside relaxes them, puts them in a better mood, helps them clear their head, and being cooped up inside too much can deepen feelings of depression, anxiousness, and loneliness. So if you're dealing with any of that kind of stuff, set a timer and sit in the grass.
Well, it's a bummer. My Starbucks is 3.7 miles away, so it's not quite there.
I've been walking 2 miles after work. I have a good walking trail.
Awesome.
And not every day. Obviously, it's going to be raining later, so I might not get it in today. But that 2 mile walk is so good for your mental health. Like I come back, I'll listen to a podcast. Sometimes I call friends. Like I'll just walk and feel great. And I know, Moon, you like the silent walk, just being quiet and like doing the walk outside. I can't do that. My mind still needs to be a little entertained.
Yeah.
But it is so nice to just do that 2 mile walk.
You got a ton of outside time in Colorado, right?
Oh, yes.
I want to hear more.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me enough about
My sister
Colorado.
graduated from CU. She's a doctor now, which is crazy. She's a law doctor. And so she graduated from law school.
Food lawyer.
She's a food lawyer, yes, and she's excellent. And we had such a good time. My stepdad had to get this. Jerry had his retina detached, had emergency surgery, couldn't make the graduation because he can't fly for 6 weeks. So it was a total bummer. But my mom, Tim, and I, we rallied, made the best of it with Emily. Just so proud of her. I got choked up a couple of times just watching her walk. We had this huge party afterwards. One of her friends is super rich. His parents are super rich. They bought the entire back patio of this really cool restaurant. And it was completely catered, open bar. Everybody was there. So cool.
Wow.
Celebrated her really good that night on Friday. And then Saturday got up, went to the Boulder Farmers Market, which is excellent. Then we went up to Netherland to Ned, which is at the top of the mountain. And it's a beautiful scenic drive through the mountains up there, about 30 minutes from Boulder. And my whole thing, now that I've visited my sister a few times, is I like to pull off to the side of the road as we're driving up or down to the mountain and put my feet into that ice cold mountain water. And just, I don't know, to me, that is like my one
stink
thing.
it up.
Stink it up with my dirty ass feet.
The smell of
The
that.
town smells like feet now.
That
It
fresh,
does.
That fresh mountain water. and
Welcome to
just-
Foot Falls.
It's the greatest
the
smell on earth.
minerals that are coming into your skin. Like my feet were so soft.
Yeah.
And then and so then we went to Boulder Falls, which is kind of on the way to Ned, and watched some people do some rock climbing. These people were incredible. And yeah, it's just such a different scenery than what we have here in the Midwest, right?
it's
So
cool.
when you go to the mountains, I'm a lifer, Midwesterner. When I go to these other places that are so rocky like that, I'm amazed, literally amazed. And yeah, I had a great time. We stayed in a little town in my mom got a great Airbnb called, or this town's called Arvada. And they had a cool, Main Street, old school, kind of reminded me of Maplewood a little bit. Went to this 60-year-old bakery because I bought my sister a cake for her graduation. And it was just cool. Like Tim and I talked about it a lot. Like, could we live out there? And I think I could. I think it's one of those places I could move.
I think it's a no-brainer.
And might.
It's like the problem is, it's like when you go out there, you feel like it's calling you, and you start having conversations about, could we figure this out? Could we figure this out? And dude, it's the cool. Boulder is such a beautiful. It's such a shame that the rich figured it out, because man, they price us all.
Oh yeah, they did good.
Oh, and they don't want us out there.
They do not want you there.
They are building so many new weird little towns, kind of like Newtown, that sort of town, like with these kind of, every house looks the same and they're all close together out there. And I talked to some people that were native Coloradians, and they were just like, we hate this. We hate that all these new builds are coming out here, and people like me are wanting to come out there and whatnot. Yeah. But man, it is so beautiful. So if anybody ever gets the chance to go out to visit or to move, do it.
I was close when I worked for the eyeball company. I was their guy that would go out to Colorado once a month, and because they wanted to expand there, so they were talking to me like, would you be willing to move there? Like, so I started looking for homes up in Cheyenne because it was closer to, like, it was up in that area. And I'm like, man, if I could live in Cheyenne, drive down to Colorado every day, this is going to be so cool.
I have places that I have in my future. So, like, Rafe was over in California. I would love to live in Laurel Canyon. Never been there, but I just know my soul would be at home. Taos, New Mexico, I could live in a heartbeat. Boulder, or one of the, little suburbs of Boulder, I could live there in a heartbeat.
That's
so it's nice. And my soul is calling me west, and it always has been. And
mine too.
That might be happening for me in the future.
Mine too.
Yeah, mine's calling me to Toledo, Ohio.
I want to be in the mountains at some point. Did you see the Northern Lights? It's all everybody's been talking about this.
And we were so bummed out. I was so, even though I'm out in this beautiful scenery in Colorado, all my friends were posting about the Northern Lights. I'd never seen them before, and I wanted to see it so bad. So I hope everybody got to see that.
Dude, my daughter. What night was that? Was that on Friday? What day did you get home, Rafe?
Yesterday, Sunday.
Oh shoot! Okay,
so it's Friday, Saturday.
Okay, yeah. So I guess it was on Friday night, and my daughter was like, "Yeah, we're gonna go outside and watch the Northern Lights." And I went, "Huh?" I was like, "What is that? What are you talking about? Is there something coming through town?" And she's like, "You can see the Northern Lights tonight." And I was like,
"How?
From here?"
Yeah.
And she goes, "Yeah, Dad." Like I was supposed to know. And all I thought was, "Yeah, right. I would have heard about this. We would have been. The whole town would have been talking about this for weeks."
Yeah, like the eclipse or something.
Right. And then I learned, it was because of the solar flares and some other stuff, and obviously it's a pretty exceptional event. So we went out a couple times. I really didn't see much. I saw like a pink hue, so I really didn't get to see much. But everybody I know, they either had the greatest iPhones or greatest cameras or something, because they were posting pictures.
Yeah, they said
looking like
a lot of it, if you
Circle.
took a picture, you could see it clear, but you can't see with your eyes.
It looked beautiful, and millions of Americans got to see the Northern Lights this weekend, at least kind of. Some saw them the way that your 13-year-old watched Taylor Swift in concert, which was through your phone. The aurora extended way farther south than usual thanks to a huge solar storm. That's where charged particles from the sun light up as they hit Earth's magnetic field. It was the strongest since 2003. Even people in Florida were posting photos this weekend, but some of those shots may have been more impressive than what they actually saw in person. It turns out that phone cameras are so good now that they actually do pick up the Northern Lights a lot better than our eyes. So that's why everybody supposedly saw it better than me. Especially on night mode, meant for low lighting. So if you put it on night mode and did that, it's pretty awesome.
This one's a time lapse too.
You saw one?
My friend did it on time lapse.
Let me see.
Huh?
Oh, let me see. Do you have it?
She sent me pictures. I'll pull them up on the break or something. But it looked cool. But she said the same thing. She was like, I didn't really see it. I just did what they told me to do on the internet. Put my phone on time lapse, pointed it towards the north, and then because of the time lapse, it looks like they're moving. So it's kind of
that's pretty
cool.
neat.
So a lot of,
up north Missouri, you can see them more often.
Did you see them in Denver?
No, we looked.
That's weird. You think that would be?
I know, well, it was cloudy yesterday, Saturday night into Sunday morning. It was cloudy, so we couldn't see it. But we didn't see it on Friday night. I was really bummed out.
Oh, dude, that sucks. A lot of people online say that, and they're arguing about it too, saying that seeing it on YouTube or their friends' accounts is like they saw it, like it counts.
Yeah.
Does it count?
No.
I mean, no, it's never going to.
I've seen National Geographic. I still haven't gone to those countries.
But I will say I know of people that have gone to see them, and not seen them.
Oh, no.
Like gone to Alaska or gone to, was it Finland?
Iceland?
Iceland, one of those lands. One of those land countries is like supposed to be like your best bet, but it doesn't always cooperate.
Dang.
It's not a guarantee.
Yeah.
If you're just hearing about this, by the way, because I got a feeling some people out there are like, what are you talking about, Northern Lights in Missouri?
Say the Aurora Borealis.
You're not alone. A ton of people in spots like Arizona, Texas, some parts of the Midwest complain that they had no idea that they could have seen them. And if they'd known, they would have stepped outside.
Yeah, it really was like Friday as it was happening, people were talking about it.
Yeah.
And maybe, I don't know
Social media exploded with it on Friday night.
It's crazy.
And then Saturday, everyone's like, ooh, might be able to. And we drove around late Saturday night trying to
find them.
find it. Nothing.
Man, I got so much good stuff here, but I do want to talk about Mother's Day. You guys do anything special for Mother's Day? Anybody?
Yeah.
What'd you do? You saw a movie, right?
Yeah. So did the church services, and then we went to see the Kingdom of the Apes.
You saw a Planet of the Apes movie
your
for Mother's
mother?
Day?
Well, she picked it. It was her
okay.
choice. She wanted to see a
What?
movie, and then we said which one. She's like, that one looks really good. So we went, and it turns out it is really good. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was
a
number
fun
one movie this weekend.
Yeah, it was a fun film and
Really?
great story, and she really liked it. And it's got a lot of depth to it. So it was
a lot of depth, the Planet of the Apes movie?
It really does.
That surprises me.
I know. It's really interesting.
A lot of depth.
Oh, a lot of depth?
Yeah.
You gave him some
This
sass.
is no-
So it's fun to kind of break it down afterwards because she's a very intelligent lady. So she always thinks deeply about stuff, and to hear her opinion, you're like, this is nice.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at your mom.
They had a Mother's Day lunch discussing the philosophies of Kingdom of the Planet
All right,
of the
if
Apes.
apes were to take over the world and enslave humans, deep.
I'm sure they're mapping some societal issues onto it, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of
I
awesome.
get what you mean,
Yeah.
Was that it?
but it is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Any-
And then I got to come home and
You know, something that baboon said really spoke to me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna think about that all weekend.
Well, there's one of the stars looks
I'm gonna be
just like
thinking
me.
about that orangutan said, and
That guy, he looked just like me, so I felt
Yeah.
like I was in the movie. It was neat. It's like, that's me.
Yeah.
Horse
Anybody else?
hair.
King Louis, King Scott.
Yeah.
Any Mother's Day events you guys
I was supposed to take my mom on Tuesday to Stevie Nicks, but because of Jerry's surgery, she wasn't able to go, and which is fine. So now I have to take her to the Four Seasons, and so we're going to be doing that.
Whoa, sweet.
know?
Where?
The Four Seasons.
Jill.
I said,
for what? For the mani-pedi
we're
and
going to do the whole,
massage
whatever she wants. You want it, you got it. Like, whatever she wants. She goes, let's go when the pool's open. Cool, done.
Wow.
Sweet. Rafe, any Mother's Day things?
I was en route. I talked to my mom. I sent her a message. I sent her some flowers, and that's about it for me.
Nice.
What'd you do for your many moms?
I told you, man. I sent a couple.
Nothing.
I sent a couple texts. I couldn't move.
Yeah.
I'm the worst. I'm the worst, and I fully admit it. I understand it. We did sit there and we watched a movie. What did we watch? Clearly, it wasn't very good. I don't know. We did watch a movie because Mallory says that if she watches a TV show in the middle of the day, she feels terrible about herself.
Okay.
But watching a movie is totally okay.
Interesting.
And we discussed like the psychological aspect to that, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, maybe it's because there's like a beginning and an end to the movie, and you can feel like that's an event, and you like dedicated your time to an event, whereas a show
You can keep going.
you can just keep on going, and the day goes
That's
away.
a good point.
So I was like, okay, yeah, babe, we'll watch a movie, and we did, and it was okay, and then we got dinner and ended up watching TV shows, which was fine.
Good for
But
her.
in the middle of that, I did.
That's after dinner. That doesn't count.
I did tell, yeah, like obviously we're raising kids, and we're raising kids together, but we don't have any kids together. And I did mention, for some reason this hit me, and I don't know about you guys, but I do this with pet names all the time and like kids' names. Like I'll just think of a name and be like, that's a cool name. Man, I wish I had a daughter named that, or I wish I had a son named that. And I turned to her on Mother's Day and I was like, hey, if we ever have a son, I think I got the name.
Oh, boy.
And she goes, real slowly turns and goes, this isn't happening, but I'll let you tell me
Right.
what this name was. And I said, hey, just if it ever happens, because I got the
I just want you to sit on the couch at the Troubadour and think about it.
Well, it is funny because I did say this, and it was just not humorous to her, but I just because I got the vasectomy, and I did look at her and I said, listen, if we have a kid after the DNA test, I would like to name it this. And she's
After
like,
after the DNA
test.
test.
She
She's
said,
like, excuse me, what?
that's not funny. And I was like, well, with the vasectomy thing, I just got to be sure. And
Yeah.
She's like, it's Mother's Day.
it's just a joke. It's just a joke, but whatever.
Seriously.
And I said, okay, so what do you think of Wolf? And we'll call him Wolfie. And she's like, we're not having a
She
kid.
was like, Eddie Van Halen already did this, Moon.
well, not Wolfgang.
Oh.
No. See, that's Wolfgang.
Yeah, but everybody calls him Wolfie.
Mr. and Mrs. Blitzer did this.
This is just Wolf. And she did not really entertain this idea. She didn't really go further. But I thought,
She's like, I'm going to take a bath and relax away from everybody in my family.
What do you guys think?
As mothers shall do.
Werewolf.
Werewolf.
He's hiding all the time.
I don't know, man. I just thought that was the coolest name. And
It is a cool name.
I'm probably not going to have another son. So
Wolf's a cool name.
if y'all want to use that, just let me know. I'm waiting for the day, for about 10 months from now, where the name Wolf is going to have a sudden spike in the St.
hope it
Louis
does.
area.
Ooh, yeah.
I think it's going to happen.
Yeah,
Cute.
maybe, man.
Well, if these names sound familiar, they should. The Social Security Administration released its annual list of most popular baby names in the U.S.
Let's go.
And the top
right.
two again are
Olivia.
Olivia for girls and
Randy.
Liam for boys.
Really?
Olivia has been the top girls a top girls name 5 years running,
Great
and
name.
Liam has topped the boys list for 7 straight years. Both top 10 lists are pretty much the same, but one new boy's name did crack the top 10.
Elliot.
We talked about this as a runner-up, I think,
Oliver.
last year. No, it starts with an M.
Malcolm. Oh, Max. Maddox.
Nope, it isn't M.A. It is
Mario.
Mort Royce Jewelry.
Moritz.
Moritz
No,
Royce.
it is Mateo.
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 What?
Mateo has now jumped in America from 11th to 6th place. And Benjamin, you're off the list.
Bye, Ben.
From 9th to
Then
11th.
he got bumped
Hey.
for Mateo.
It's been good.
Yeah, dude.
Eddie Blanco got bumped by Mateo.
The top 10 most popular boys' names are Liam, Noah,
Epstein.
Oliver, James, Elijah, Mateo, Theodore, without an E, by the way, Theodor, Henry, Lucas, and William.
Cute.
Top 10 girls' names are Olivia, Emma, Charlotte, Amelia, Sophia, Mia, Isabella, Ava. Is that every one of them ends with an A except for Charlotte? Okay. And Evelyn and Luna. Mia jumped from 8th to 6th, otherwise totally unchanged.
Love it.
They also look at the trendiest baby names, meaning the ones that saw the biggest gains
Those
over
all
the past
Italian
year.
girls' names, almost exclusively.
Olivia, Emma, Charlotte, Amelia, Sophia, Mia, Isabella, Ava, Evelyn, Luna. They also looked at the ones that had the biggest gains. The top 5 boys' names that had the biggest gains. Izael? Izael. How do you say it?
Azazel. That's,
Azazel?
I think that's a demon. Cool. That's awesome.
Oh, the demon names are in now?
What is
Demon
it?
names are in.
Azel? Starts with an I? Azel?
Azazel.
Azrael. I thought Azrael was the
Azazel
demon.
was
Azael?
That's Chris Kattan's character in Goth Talk.
Chosen? Chozen.
bad guy from
Chosen.
Karate Kid 2. Sweet.
It does say that here. That was the character from the last season of Cobra Kai. Let's see. I guess this is Aiden, but it starts with an E. E-I-D-A-N. Or is that Eden?
Eden.
Aiden? Eden?
Either one.
Oh, boy.
Cassian with a C. C-A-S-S-I-A-N. And Kyren with a K. K-Y-R-E-N. Those had the biggest jumps for the 5 boys' names. The 5 girls' names that had the biggest jumps, Kaylee, spelled K-A-E-L-I, which is apparently a TikTok star, Kaylee May, spelled like that. So that jumped. Alitzel, Alitzel,
Isn't that old car?
A Litzel.
A-L-I-T-Z-E-L.
Alitzel.
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 Alitzel. Alitzel? It sounds like a pretzel company.
Yeah.
Alitzel.
Alitzel's pretzels.
Emryn, E-M-R-Y-N. I think that's kind of cool.
All right.
A lot of energy.
Emerald CIPS.
Emryn.
We're in Missouri.
That's funny you say that because that sounds like somebody from Shelbina. Emryn.
Yeah.
Hey, Emryn.
Hey,
Ameren.
first thing I saw whenever little Ameren was born was the Ameren sign. So I said, you know what? This is a sign.
Emryn is full of energy.
It was during a power outage when we conceived
I had this
him.
baby in a power outage.
Try to say Emryn as clean as you can.
Ameren.
Amarin.
It still sounds country.
Yep.
Amarin.
Imran.
It's my twins, Imran and Water Department.
Just like their daddy.
Adhara, A-D-H-A-R-A. A-D-H-A-R-A. Adhara.
Adhara.
It's kind of pretty. And Azari.
Azari.
A-Z-A.
It's okay, man. I forgive you.
Azari sounds like where I get really slutty dresses at the West County Mall. That sounds like a store that I
It's the knockoff
would shop
Zara.
at for my Saturday wear. Yep, and I'm a fan.
But only once a year because it's expensive.
That's right.
Right? Like you got a lot
Well,
of like golden things.
Sometimes you can get them very cheap, which is great. You guys don't know anything about it. Well, you do because you wore a dress at RizzShow Live. So, but I don't think you guys have worn dresses lately.
Yeah.
Well,
Do muumuus count?
Losers.
I love wearing a muumuu.
maybe not that you know of.
That's true.
All right, we're cruising. Today's Team Rizz Member of the Day brought to you by Hot Shot Sports Bar and Grill, proud sponsor of St. Louis Battlehawks. Find all the cacaws at hotshotsnet.com. Is Jessica Heaton from East Alton,
Jessica!
Illinois. Let me find. Where did he put the claps? I don't. Thank you. Thank you. That wasn't the button. That was the studio in here. Jessica loves starting her weekdays with the Rizz Show in the mornings and loves all the positivity that the gang shares with every show. She misses Jeff's presence, but loves how much the show keeps his memory alive with memories and stories, and is a huge fan of Rizz.
Oh.
That's it.
Who?
Her favorite segment is the E Memoriam. She's been a Point fan for many years, and she's very excited to be a part of the team. Congratulations, Jessica Heaton. Don't forget to sign up if you have not already at 1057thepoint.com/Team Rizz. We got a lot on the way today. We do have a lot of Point Fest tickets to give out because guess what?
What?
That's what's next. Punk Rock Disney is over. Netflix is a Joke is over. The Colorado trip is over. And Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes with your mother-in-law is over. The next thing this weekend, Saturday, May 18th at the Point Fest is at the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater is Point Fest. We'll give away a whole bunch of tickets and some other stuff. Right now, let's do some traffic and weather. It's 7:04. Here's Lern coming at you.
It's brought to you by Worldwide Technology Raceway, the Confluence Musical Festival with Ludacris, Riley Green, and more, and the NASCAR Cup Series June 1st and 2nd. Tickets available at WWTRaceway.com. There's an abandoned vehicle on westbound 70 just past Grand, so the right lane is closed there. Weather today, your Point weather brought to you by Martin Jetco Heating and Air Conditioning, more reliable than your news source. We're going to have a high of 72, a low of 60. That rain is going to kind of move in kind of sporadically after noon, and it's cloudy 63 at 7:04.
Lern, what do we got?
Well, you guys, Gavin Rossdale has a type. Tons of memorable covers at Festival this weekend. Scott Stapp is on the prowl, and we're going to break it down. Entertainment Weekly did a chronological order of some of the best workplace TV shows throughout the years.
That and so much more up next. It is the Rizzuto Show. Welcome back. You can always get a hold of us by emailing us at RizzShow at 1057thepoint.com. You can give us a call, 314-624-3833 or 314-NAH-DUDE or 618-398-3833. We are live on the Mick Ultra studio cams here on the YouTubes. And if you're watching the show, I'm holding a corncob pipe. And this was a gift. Scott just walked in with like bags of pipes.
Yep.
You're welcome.
This is from the place that you're always talking about, right?
The Missouri Meerschaum factory over there in Washington.
Missouri Meerschaum.
Yeah,
MEERSCHAUM.
Yeah, and Ben, he made these for us, and he brought them over on Saturday when I was over at the Galleria there. And
look at you, dude.
Yeah, these are incredible.
Do the rest of the show with our corncob pipes?
Rafe looking with like 15 IQ points higher.
I'm really left out because I forgot that I already took mine inside the house. I was like, I got to use this bad boy, and I didn't bring it in with me. And I'm like, no.
I feel like Garth Algar after he bones Kim Basinger in Wayne's World 2, and he comes out with like this, hello, darling.
Yeah.
Pleasant morning, isn't it? And it's bubbles.
This looks very sophisticated.
These are very nice.
Something about it. I was telling Lern on the break. You feel like if someone takes a pipe out of their mouth, something profound is about to come after it.
Yeah. If they
I think it's the old 50s, like Leave It to Beaver. All the dads were smoking. It was like Dad in his den, and he'd be like, well, sometimes, Beav.
If you take the time to take it out, it must be something big coming.
Yeah,
There's
so
something
thank
about
you guys
this.
over there. And
Or a sea captain.
So
It
you
reminds
can-
me of like a sea captain. Like, the seas were angry that day.
Yeah.
20,000 men went in the water and only 14 came out.
You're like Willem Dafoe in The Lighthouse. When they're just tooting all the time.
Yeah.
Just smoking and tooting.
I will say, like, you're an interesting onion. You know, you peel some layers back and you find out that Scott's really into smoking pipes. But especially
the
these
neat
corn
ones,
cob
yeah.
things. Yeah, you've been into these.
I like
I'm
the
going to give you mine because I
collectible
don't know anything about that. And
all
I'd
right,
rather
well,
not.
I'm glad. And yeah, so this is their 150th year of being in business. But we
Whoa.
have the. Is this cool that Missouri has the ultimate corn pipe factory? I mean, it's the original one. It's the one that is traded across the globe. This
Yeah.
is sought after.
The
These
last one.
Yeah, I'd imagine that's
very
kind of
important things.
it's it's definitely a niche market.
Definitely.
Yeah, if you want your snowman to come to life,
This is it.
you come to us.
Isn't that incredible?
If not, I guess you just have a dumb snowman that doesn't come
Well,
to
that's what
life,
their name
dude.
translates to is snowman.
Meerschaum? Mm-hmm. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Look at Scott.
Really?
Look at Scott
Can
with
you
all the
build a
info.
schmeow? What is it?
Can you build a do you want to build a meerschmum? Is that how it's
Frosty the Meerschmum.
Oh man, we're
I can see
having
why
too
it
much
didn't
fun.
catch on.
Yeah. I want to. They have the Cobbett collection. I got to get that.
That's super
The
cool though,
Wizard,
man.
Top salad.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
Dwarf, the elf.
Thanks to them, I know like that's been a dream come true that you have that connection now.
I can't
because
believe this is even a thing. Yeah, this is.
We
I've
would
been
go-
a fan of them for ages.
When we were on tour, you know, a lot of people have their different interests, and this guy would only perk up if we were on some random main street or something. He'd be like, "Oh, a tobacco shop," and he'd go in and get some weird pipe or something.
Right.
So always talking about the corn cob ones and some weird Italian made
They got a
ones.
ton of corn cobs. That's good.
Well, that was pretty random. So how about some more random stuff? Here's some random facts for you. The tiny, impossible-to-use handles on maple syrup
Yep.
are known as skeuomorph, which is it's a design element that helps you recognize what something is, even if it doesn't have a purpose beyond that. Skeuomorph.
Humor. All right.
It's a cool word to know. The tiny handles have been added for almost 100 years to reference old stoneware jugs that maple syrup used to be stored in. The jugs had handles large enough to actually hold, so these are just literally so you would recognize them. President Obama was only the 14th of the first 44 presidents to serve 2 full terms in office. Biden or Trump could be the 15th. Six Flags got its name how?
The different
Oh,
nations
the Five Flags was already taken.
The different nations of what?
of fun. I don't know.
I know.
You do know?
I do believe I know. I believe it's Texas.
Yeah.
It has something to do with Texas, but what do you mean, the 6 different nations of Texas?
I think there are 6. It has something to do with like the 6 provinces of Texas, I believe.
You're close.
I feel like I've heard this somewhere. I read this somewhere before.
Yeah, it's a cool fact. Six Flags got its name because of the 6 different nations that Texas has been a part of. So basically, Texas was owned by Spain, France, Mexico, the Republic of Texas, the United States, and
Costco.
the Confederacy. Those are the 6 flags that make up Six Flags.
That's pretty neat.
Most snails have both female and male genitalia, so they can quickly and easily mate with basically any other snail. So they meet up. Is like, you want to play guy today?
It takes a long time to get to each other. It's like,
Yeah.
imagine getting there and there's 2 wangs. And it's like, dude,
You know what? It's fine. I'll put mine
it took
away.
me 15 days to get here. That's fine. I'll turn mine inside out. Let's party.
And Best Buy was originally called Sound of Music. They launched in 1966, and the name wasn't changed to Best Buy until 1983. On this day, back in the day, 387 years ago, in 1637, Cardinal Richelieu of France invented the table knife. Until then, people used daggers to cut their meat and to pick their teeth. Cardinal Richelieu had the points rounded off all of the knives at his table.
I'm glad he invented that because they also, even before that, was the floor knife. And that was always dirty to use. So I'm glad he came up with the table one.
That's very nasty. Richelieu is also the bad guy in The Three Musketeers. Christoph Waltz from Inglourious Basterds played him in the 2011 movie. 178 years ago, in 1846, the U.S. declared war. They do declare war on Mexico. 160 years ago, 1864, the first soldier was buried at Arlington Cemetery. He was a Confederate prisoner of war who died at the local hospital, so they buried him on the grounds of the estate that was being used as the Union headquarters. 54 years ago, 1970, the Beatles movie Let It Be premiered in New York City. 52 years ago, also on this day in 1972, Bonanza superstar Dan Blocker died of a sudden pulmonary embolism. The guy was only 43 years old.
Wow.
Dang.
Bonanza ran for one more season after Haas's death. 43 years ago, in 1981, Pope John Paul II was shot in an assassination attempt at Rome's St. Peter's Square. The guy who did it wrote that he was trying to protest against the U.S., Russia, and genocide in Salvador and Afghanistan. 39 years ago, in 1985, Bruce Springsteen married Julianne Phillips in a secret ceremony. They were divorced about 4 years later. 30 years ago, in 1994, Johnny Carson made the final TV appearance of his life on Late Show with David Letterman. Jimmy Fallon was only 19 at the time. Johnny had always wanted Dave to replace him on The Tonight Show. 20 years ago, in 2004, Frasier aired its final episode. 18 years ago, in 2006, Aretha Franklin received an honorary doctorate of music from Boston's Berklee College. And 6 years ago, in 2018, Margot Kidder died at her Montana home at the age of 69. She was most famous for playing who? Margot Kidder.
For playing
Catwoman.
No, it's
Nope.
Julie Newmar.
But you're on the right track. It is Lois Lane from the Christopher Reeve Superman
It was
movies.
a comic book name.
And that is your back in the day. Hit it, Lern.
All right, we're going to start with this. Gavin Rossdale is dating somebody who looks like Gwen Stefani. Scott, I just emailed you the links to everything for Crap On for the blog. Pull up this woman, okay? Her name is Joanna Junetti. She's a singer from Albania. She's 35 years old, and I guess Gavin Rossdale and her, they were in Mexico last week. Obviously, paparazzi follows everybody. They took these photos of her, and it's absolutely wild how much this young lady looks like Gavin's ex-wife, Gwen Stefani.
I'm trying to get her look.
all right.
I'll just, do it the old-fashioned way.
So, people say this like in headlines. They'll say like, "Oh, you're never gonna." This woman looks like Gwen Stefani. Like the way her eyebrows are. She's got a red lip, this kind of platinum blonde hair.
Oh my goodness,
Right?
dude. It looks like she looks like a Vegas impersonator of Gwen Stefani. That's not like you guys look alike.
See it. No, it looks like somebody who's in a No Doubt cover band.
You heard Blake Shelton's been hanging around now.
Look at that. That's wild.
And so isn't that, she's gorgeous. Way to go, Gavin.
She's
but
on the left.
She looks less like her in some of these other photos. Here, go scroll up just for a second. She looks actually kind of like a blonde Kardashian in a way.
That
right
one
there.
she does for sure.
But putting that red lip on,
man's got a type.
He's got a type. And how lucky is he to have all these gorgeous women? Everybody's trying to point out the age difference. Obviously, I said Joanna is 35, Gavin is 58. But man, it has to be a little strange. I guess they've been dating for a couple years now. So,
Old boy is 58.
yeah, Gavin Rossdale is 58 years old.
He looks spectacular.
He does.
What the heck is he eating and drinking?
Meanwhile, Blake Shelton, who's married to Gwen Stefani, spent $40,000 at an auction on Friday for a walk-on role in a new Mark Wahlberg movie. He joked that he might be done with performing country music and will start acting based on getting, this auction item. $40,000. Would you pay $40,000 if you were a millionaire
Heck, yes, I would.
to be in a Mark Wahlberg movie?
I'd pay $42,000.
Really? Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Would I pay $40,000?
If you had, Blake Shelton money. And obviously the money's going to a good cause, so let's not focus on that. But
And I bet
would it be Mark Wahlberg a walk-on role?
Too.
So he's trying to do. He's trying to be an actor.
He's not trying. He wanted to do some good. So at this auction, he raised some money.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if a Mark Wahlberg movie would make me spend $40,000. It would have to be like a Tarantino movie or
but that movie's still gonna. That movie's still gonna. You're shooting for the stars.
I know it's a lot of money.
But this movie's still gonna get a bunch of attention. Maybe,
and it's gonna be fun. You're probably gonna be falling off a building or something. You get to drive a cool car.
But
You're
it's
gonna do some cool
think
stuff.
of that opportunity to show some chops and to show that you actually aren't garbage. And if you're not garbage, enough professionals are gonna see that to be like, oh, maybe I'll cast this guy.
Maybe I'll cast Blake
that's
Shelton.
one of my strategies for jump-starting my acting career is I'm like, if I ever hit the lottery,
That's where
I'm
your money's
buying my
going?
way in. I don't
Right
care.
on.
I will splash money around.
Jelly Roll joined Limp Bizkit during a cover of The Who's Behind Blue Eyes at the Welcome to Rockville Festival in Daytona Beach. You can see that fan shot footage on our blog. Dave Grohl was also there with his Foo Fighters. He pranked the fans that were Welcome to Rockville. He pretended to play Eddie Van Halen's Eruption solo and then, came out and he's like, I just want to shred. And he had his back turned to the crowd. And then Wolfgang Van Halen came out and was actually the person who was playing the solo. It wasn't Dave Grohl at all. Dave said that he never gets a chance to solo, that he was about to show off all of his guitar prowess. Back to the audience, started playing Eruption, and then it was all a ruse that Wolfgang Van Halen soon was revealed side stage playing the entire thing that his dad wrote. Creed singer Scott Stapp's wife Jacqueline has filed for divorce. She's been ready to pull the trigger for a while, and she filed back in May of 2023. It's been a rocky 2 decades for the Stapps. Jacqueline previously filed for divorce in 2014 and 2022, but called it off. The couple has 3 children. This one is going to stick, though.
Man, interesting timing.
Interesting timing. Really going back out on the road, having like this new resurgence of Creed.
This guy's like back on top of the world. He seems to be sober
seems
and
healthy.
doing well. And it's like,
she's out.
What a weird.
Now you're out? Like, you stuck through all the other stuff. It's interesting.
It is interesting. The MTV Movie and TV Awards has been scrapped this year. It will supposedly return next year. Sources close to the production staff there tell TMZ that the annual event was put on pause for this year, with the network choosing to skip out of the festivities.
Man, I was going to watch it this year.
I love watching those things. It's not canceled, though. It will be back next year.
What is it?
This is the MTV Movie and TV Awards.
Oh, I thought we were done with that. I thought they were like calling it.
If you remember, Drew Barrymore skipped it because of the writer's strike. Remember last year there was the writer's strike, and so there was all this kind of drama around it. And actually, it was really well watched. I remember the headlines for it, and it ran really well. I think they didn't have a host once Drew Barrymore backed out. I don't think they had a host, and it just ran smoothly. So they're not saying that contributed to this, but they're just waiting.
That was something I didn't know that I learned in LA this week.
Yeah.
Survive to 25 is all of the production houses because of the writer's strike. They said they didn't do an audition season this year for sitcom. Nobody's making it. Like, they thought when the writer's strike was over, it'd be this big push.
Right.
But like all my friends that were in writers' rooms are like, there's no jobs.
Wow.
Because all of the major Paramount's for sale, and they're waiting for a buyer. Sony has made an offer. Some other places. So Paramount's not making anything. They're trying to sell, and they said that like the scuttlebutt around Tinseltown has survived to 25, and no one's making anything. So I wonder if this is part of it.
Yeah, ultimately, a couple people I was listening to when the strike thing ended were like, "This is the worst deal long term ever," and they didn't get what they think they
Aren't they going back to the table pretty soon with that? Couldn't there be another strike soon?
I don't know, but I think all the fallout's just beginning.
And we are the ones that have to pay for that because the content's not going to be there. Things like this are going to fall through the cracks.
Yeah, which is
it's
wild.
crazy that it takes that it can have that big of a shift, that it can last years. Because you just don't think about, the average person doesn't think about all of the time and energy and the planning that has to go into making a new TV show and getting everything right and getting it funded.
I think the content will be there. I don't think that we're going to see the fallout. I think the middle range workers that were doing just fine, that wanted more, are going to be pushed out. There was this one guy that I was listening to, and I forget his name. So this isn't my thought, but he was talking about how like most of those rooms were full of too many writers anyway, and the fact that they were then getting bullied to push more into there was like, oh well, you're just sealing your fate. Now they're just going to get around it and do it in this way and cut costs, and ultimately realize that they didn't need everybody anyway. And it's going to hurt you in the long run. And it seems like that's already happening. People are losing jobs that had like, they could have played a role eventually, or like, climbed the ladder a little bit better.
Yeah, because I've seen things where on social media people are making posts where it's like, I've worked in Hollywood, 30-something years, and now we're going to have to sell the house, and it's falling apart.
Yeah, like they were pushing for golden rungs, and now there's fewer rungs of the ladder.
Well, NBC is going to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Saturday Night Live. It's going to be a 3-hour primetime special on Sunday, February 16th. Going to honor Lorne Michaels. With that in mind, lots of people still speculating as if Tina Fey is going to take over from Lorne whenever he decides to retire, which could it be this? It's the 50th anniversary, kind of a nice even number for Lorne Michaels. Could that be possibly something coming down the pipe for 2024?
How cool is that to have a show that you created still going 50 years later, and you're a part of it, and you're healthy?
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It is incredible. Steve Buscemi was the victim of a random attack in New York City. According to the New York Post, he was strolling through Kips Bay last week when a man walked up, struck him in broad daylight. The 66-year-old suffered swelling to his face and left eye, was taken to the hospital for treatment. His attacker is still on the loose, police say. He's also the second person from Boardwalk Empire that had this happen. Michael Stuhlbarg, who played Arnold on the show, was hit back in the neck with a rock while he was out for a run on the Upper East Side. So somebody is not a fan of Boardwalk Empire and seeing people from that show walking around New York City
and Rick Moranis
deciding to attack everybody. Like King Scott said, Kingdom of Planet of the Apes is the #1 movie in North America. It earned $56.5 million in its debut. Number 2 this week was The Fall Guy, and number 3 was Challengers. In other news, and finally, whether you work in an office, a hospital, or even a bar, sometimes it's more tolerable when you have a show to relate to. Entertainment Weekly put together a list of some of the best workplace comedies on TV throughout the years. So it's not like a #1 list. This is a chronological list, starting with the Mary Tyler Moore Show, which ran from 1970 to 1977.
Only shows, no movies?
Yeah, these are just TV shows.
Okay.
So these are, obviously The Office is one that everybody goes
Office,
to.
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec.
Top of mind ones are going to come out.
But even like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which is focused around a bar.
I guess it is the workplace.
And this list is kind of cool. Cheers is on there. Frasier is on there. Taxi. WKRP is not on this list. Bummer. I really wish that, how they're rebooting The Office. No original people are going to be, or not the American version of The Office they're rebooting. I kind of wish that Greg Daniels would have taken a different route in a different workplace. And maybe they will. There's no real ideas about what that show is going to be about. It's going to be called The Office something. But I think it'd be really cool if somebody did do another WKRP with modern day radio. Because I think that would be really fun.
News radio was a good.
Yeah, news radio was awesome. But
Felt like
you're
that was
right.
kind of
That
the
would be a
reboot.
fun.
News radio was number 4. That one ran from 1995 through 1999.
What is that?
This isn't like a.
We've referenced it 100 times, and I feel like I'm in a
It had
different
what's his
universe.
face from Kids in the Hall.
Dave Foley and
Dave Foley.
Joe Rogan. It was one of Joe Rogan's only.
Oh yeah.
What?
Joe Rogan was like the handyman in it. That was like his big break.
News radio.
Yeah, and then
radio.
you'll know the lady too.
Andy
the lead.
Dick.
Really?
The dad was hilarious.
The late
What the heck was I doing?
Phil Hartman.
I've never even heard of this.
The cast was banger.
Yeah. What
Never
was
watched
the?
it.
I'm getting her dad's name pulled up here.
Interesting.
Stephen Root was in that too. That's great. I didn't
Stephen
know
Root.
that.
That's
Maura Tierney, I believe.
wow. No way. The dude from Office Space. Holy smokes!
Yeah,
no way.
What else you got
Yeah,
on
no, I missed that
this
one.
list?
Let me tell you, I'm just going to give you the list. So these are the best workplace comedies on TV. So Mary Tyler Moore Show, Taxi, Cheers, News Radio, Just Shoot Me, Scrubs, Reno 911, The Office, It's Always Sunny, 30 Rock, Party Down, which I'd never heard of. Party Down?
Never
Oh,
heard
it's
of that.
so good.
Is it?
Spin
What
the
is
City.
that?
catering one that's on Showtime with Adam Scott.
No, I never watched it.
Oh,
It
if
was
you haven't
his-
watched
it's
it,
his
go watch it.
show
It's so
they
funny.
did one
They just
season.
rebooted it.
Yeah, they did one season and then they brought her back.
Yeah,
'cause it's
2009 to 2010, and then the reboot in 2023.
Spin City was really good, and I think that won a couple of awards and everything.
City
What
was
about
good.
Eastbound and Down? Technically, that's a work thing. Baseball player.
Not on this list.
Heck yeah! That
Parks
should be
and
number
Rec,
one.
Archer, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Superstore, and Abbott Elementary. It was a top 16. So there you go. And that is your crap on celebrities.
Your celebrity celebrating a birthday today. Disney Channel's Jessie, that's Debbie Ryan, 2 first names, and she's married to Josh from 21 Pilots. She's
Good old
31.
Debbie Ryan.
Yeah, you know her. Robert Pattinson. Hang on. Scott knows her.
That's a name.
What?
Robert Pattinson, Batman, and Twilight Vampire Edward is 38, Team Edward. Lena Dunham is 38. I don't know how to say this guy's name. Is it Ewan or is it Iwan?
Ewan McGregor?
No,
Oh.
it's Iwan Roan. It's Ramsay Snow from Game of Thrones.
Ewan.
Is
It's
it Ewan?
It's probably Ewan.
Let's say Ewan Roan.
Ewan.
He's 39. Samantha Morton, that's Alpha on The Walking Dead, also on Hulu's Harlots. She's 47. Buckethead is 55. Darius Rucker is 58. Stephen Colbert is 60. Dennis Rodman, our sometimes ambassador to North Korea, is 63. Alan Ball from 6 Feet Under, True Blood creator. He also won the Best Original Screenplay Oscar for American Beauty. Alan Ball is 67. Stevie Wonder. I call him Steve, but Stevie Wonder is 74. Magic Dick the J. Giles Band superstar harmonica player. Superstar harmonica player. Those are three words I didn't think went together. But indefinitely less cool real name. His real name is Richard Salwitz. He's 39. And Harvey Keitel is 85 years old.
And today's pornographic birthday, which is being brought to you by Patricia's, where fun and fantasy meet, is Tommy Gunn. Today's birthday he-whore has been in 3,357 fine films, including All Night at the Triple D Diner, Angels of Debauchery 2, Ass Cleavage 7, Bareback Mounting, Big Ass Cheerleaders 1 and 2. He came back for the sequel. Big Butts for Breakfast 3. That's good. I heard that's a buffet. That's nice. Buns of Anarchy, which was a moving film. Dirty Knees, Behind the Trees, Mommy Needs Money 1, and who could forget his role in 2013's Daddy Says I'm the Best. Gross. Tommy Gunn is 57 years old. That's your porno birthday. Those were your crappy birthdays. And that was your crap on the celebrities.
Okay, so I am looking at a lot of pairs of tickets to Point Fest. This is the week that we are giving away tickets to Point Fest. It is featuring Bad Omens, Wage War, Grandson, Alvaro, and many, many more. It is Saturday, May 18th. Just a few days away at the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. Now is your chance. We're going to open up the phone lines. King Scott, get in there and start talking to people at 314-624-3833. That's 314-NA-DUDE or 618-398-3833. Because today we play 3 in 5. I'm going to say that this is a mixed bag of difficulty. There's some really easy ones in here because I want to give out some tickets, and there's some really difficult ones. So we will play 3 and 5 in just a moment. Give us a call, 314-624-3833. Judges, are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
I sure hope so. It's 7:37 on this beautiful Monday. It's the Rizzuto Show. Here's traffic and weather with Lern coming at you.
It's brought to you by Worldwide Technology Raceway. The Confluence Music Festival is back, and this time it's Ludacris, Riley Green, and more. NASCAR Cup Series also that weekend, June 1st and 2nd. Get your tickets at www.raceway.com. That abandoned vehicle on westbound 70 could still be there for your viewing pleasure. Just past Grand, the right lane is closed. Stormy this week. Later today, it starts kind of afternoon. It looks like crap out there right now. 72 will be the high. 60 is the overnight low. Right now it's 63 degrees, and your point weather is brought to you by Martin Jetco Heating and Air Conditioning, more reliable than your St. Louis weather.
Welcome back. It is the Rizzuto Show. We are going to get to 3 and 5 in just a second. But did you guys hear this this graduation speaker? I know you were just at your sister's graduation out there for college, and there was a Thomas Jefferson University in Philadelphia that had to apologize after a bunch of nursing students' names were mispronounced at their graduation on Thursday. And we're talking like
really botched.
Bad. Yeah. Like, I'm not sure what was happening. I don't know if it was like a prank. The woman reading them butchered them so bad that she ended up getting replaced. So I even feel bad for her because like halfway through the thing, they said, listen, this has got to stop. This has got to stop.
You know, it's interesting, though. I only heard the family that was sitting in front of us at Emily's graduation on Friday. Their daughter's name was Michaela, and maybe it was spelled oddly, but that was the only name that I realized was botched because the family had a reaction when the name was spoken.
Then they would go,
they're like,
they gasped?
Like, I think her brother was like, well, you screwed her name up. Like, I heard him kind of under his breath say something. They're kind of disappointed. But I was thinking at our high school and college graduations, I remember we had to, I think all of us had to pronounce or spell out our names phonetically. So, like, my name was Lauren Colvin.
Yeah.
And so you had to put that out phonetically. And so it's interesting that names can be so screwed up in this day and age.
So it sounds like that's what happened.
Okay.
They're blaming it on poor phonetic spellings on the cards that she was reading.
Interesting.
But they did swap out. They swapped in a different announcer halfway through. But I mean, I'd imagine if she got the cards and it doesn't say, Billy. It says, it's like. I don't know. It's all phonetically out. I'd imagine somebody can get lost because they're just not used to reading that way. Take a listen. Listen to this.
Victoria Lee Zubik-Brooks. What the heck? Victoria Elizabeth Bruce. Not what she said. Marlena. Oh, Melanie. This is Zobeth. Molly. Carolina Urina. Tamume. Thomas
Tamume was Thomas. She butchered Thomas. She butchered Melanie. She butchered Elizabeth. Got swapped out. There are highlights and lowlights. We'll put them up there. It just got me thinking because I was looking at the phone lines and I'm like, oh, thank God. Look at this. We got a Nick, a Billy, a Jasmine, an Emily, and an Eric. I won't embarrass myself today.
It's hard to sound out names, though, phonetically. I mean, we do this every day with the porno birthday, with the birthday. You know, I do it in crap on. Like, we screw stuff up. But the one place you should not screw up is the graduation. And they should have, across the board, hire somebody who reads the names ahead of time, gets the correct pronunciation. I mean, that's how crazy I would be if I were ever asked to do like a high school graduation or something. I would be like, give me those names a couple days in advance. Let me ask what these names are that I may have a problem with. Because there's nothing that makes you feel worse when you screw somebody's name up in one of those moments.
The one place, though, if we're being honest, that you should not screw something up is 3 and 5.
I agree.
There's a...
It is 3 and 5. That means I have to get a timer ready. I'm going to do that now. Let's test that out. Let's see how this goes. Sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty loud
Sound
and
ominous
intimidating.
As hell, yeah.
I hope everybody is ready. All right, let's get, looks like we have Erica. Erica in Springfield, Illinois or Missouri, Erica?
Springfield, Missouri.
Springfield, Missouri. Okay, Erica, are you ready to play 3 and 5?
Yes.
The rules are, I will give you a category with 3 things in it. You have to name 3 things in that category in under 5 seconds or within 5 seconds. We've had some buzzer beaters recently. But you cannot start your answer with an
or
with an or any sort of ridiculous stall tactics. We will not stand for it. Rafe said that he's going to be a very, very firm judge today. He has a pipe in his mouth.
I will only remove my pipe to render my verdict.
Wow.
So, Erica in Springfield, Missouri, are you prepared for 3 and 5?
Yes.
Then name me 3 types of dogs.
German Shepherd, Collie, Poodle.
Love it. Love
That's
it,
it.
love it, love it. Great category.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's only fun when I miss the buttons.
Good job.
Okay, Erica, your next category. Give me 3 tools found in a toolbox.
Hammer, screwdriver, nail.
Love it.
Give her Point Fest tickets there, Scott.
You're coming into town, girl. Congrats.
Congrats, Erica. Nick in Winsfield. Nick, how you doing, man?
Pretty good. How about you all?
Fantastically well. Are you ready to play 3 and 5?
Yep.
The name 3 colors of the rainbow.
Red, purple, yellow.
Yes. Purple is in the rainbow. Don't at me. It is.
If a nail is a tool,
And it
then
is.
purple is in the rainbow, son.
Nail. Of course, a nail is.
You're
a
right.
Tool.
I jumped. You're right. Is a nail a tool?
I think it is. I think it is because
Nick,
it's
hang
in the
on, man.
toolbox.
We've got to figure this out. I need to know this just for the future. Is a nail a tool?
What is a hammer without a nail?
A tool.
Tool for other things. Let's see. It is a small object made of metal which is used as a fastener. Blah, 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 blah.
It's in a toolbox. Why would the nails be in a toolbox if it's not a tool?
Well, because some of us are just horribly sloppy with our stuff, and we throw them in toolboxes. Doesn't make it a tool.
Where would you put a nail? A box of nails?
I don't know. Erica's already got the tickets. Is purple a color in the rainbow? There's
Yes.
literally Roy G. Biv. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet.
Indigo is purple.
You're going to accept? Are we accepting?
I accept purple. Yes. What does
Already
Sherlock
rendered my
Holmes say?
verdict.
What's your
I
verdict?
said if a nail is a tool, then purple's in the rainbow.
Okay, Nick. Fine.
Saying everything is a
All
50s
right.
dad.
We shall
You're like
accept.
a wise owl came to life as a human.
Name 3 types of trees.
Sassafras,
You can't say man.
Don't say or
Name 3 elements on the periodic table.
salt, sodium,
Goodbye. You're fired. Billy in Oakville. How you doing, man?
Was AU.
Don't say don't say don't do any
just get
stall
to it.
tactics. Name 3 types of insect.
ant, roach, Mosquito.
Love it. By the way, cicadas were on the inside of my fence when we got home yesterday. Now they're on the outside.
Oh.
Millions of cicadas live at my house right now.
They've moved. Okay, let's see. Billy, how about 3 types of pizza toppings?
Pepperoni, pineapple, and cheese.
Love it.
You guys good?
Yeah.
All right. Well done. Well done. Let's go to Ashley. Ashley and Alton. What's up?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Ashley, name us 3 modes of transportation. I'm so done.
We have a bad connection.
It sounds like she's being transported right now.
Right. In a boat.
What do we do here? You know what?
I didn't hear. I just heard boat.
Your phone cut out.
Boat, the first part of
It's
motorcycle.
fine. I said boat, bike, boat, motorcycle, car, but yeah, I know, crappy connection.
Crappy connection. Okay, you sound good right now. Stay wherever you are right now.
I'll propose
A do-over?
a do-over.
A do-over.
Okay, here's your first question then. Name 3 things you find in a classroom.
Teacher, kids, talk.
There it is. That feels good. That feels good. Now, name 3 types of sports balls.
Sports what?
Sports balls.
No.
Now you said
I'm
anyway.
not giving you that one. No redo on that.
Okay, so that's 1
Sorry.
and 1.
1 and 1.
One.
All right, your last one
Stand
is
still and bring it home.
name 3 types of mobile phone brands.
Samsung, Motorola, Apple.
Yes.
That's a winner.
Motorola in there.
Congratulations, Ashley.
Throwback.
Oh my gosh.
Does Motorola still make phones?
I think they do.
I think they still make pagers.
Oh man.
Emily in Waterloo, how you doing?
Hi.
Hi. Name 3 types of kitchen appliances.
Stove, oven, microwave.
Love it. I think I'm in my Hunter S. Thompson era with this pipe, to be real. What?
Mr. Pipe over here says,
I was trying to figure out if there was a degree of separation twixt a stove and an oven.
Yeah, stove is the top. The oven's the with the door.
That's a good point,
Those
though.
are separate appliances then.
Yeah, because my stove is on the like a what do you call it?
Well, then she has won the day.
A countertop stove, yeah,
But
stove top counter. Whatever.
Isn't stove and oven interchangeably used to describe the same appliance?
No, I don't think so at all. I think a stove is like just the burners, and the oven is just the door. Put in.
Can one exist without the other?
You guys are going off the rails with these pipes in your hands.
Yes. One man's stove is another man's oven. son.
Okay, Emily, name me 3 countries in South America.
No.
Geography is not our class on
You'll
this
get 'em
She
next
say
time.
nope or Rio.
She said. She said nope. All right, how about name me 3 candy bars?
Twix, Hershey's, Twix.
No, can't be doing 2 Twix, girl.
Did you
There's the
double?
left Twix and the right
Did she
Twix,
do-
much like a stove and an
Did
oven.
she double Twix?
She double Twixed us.
She
Goodbye.
Twix.
It is good, but I don't think it's good to say it twice.
She twice Twixed.
All
She
right.
twice Twixed.
We'll finish here with Eric in Belleville. Eric, how are you?
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up, dude?
What's the?
Okay, give me 3 things you find at a beach.
Beach ball, people, sand.
The best things.
All right, let's go back to geography. Name me 3 major cities in Asia.
I don't know.
This one's it. This is it for the day.
And you know what it is.
I understand now how Rizz gets so burned so quick on this now. All right, Eric, name me 3 types of birds.
Eagle, hawk, robin.
That's
All
it.
the best birds.
That's it. I like to go out on a high. Thank you very much, Eric.
Thank you.
You guys have probably got to keep the pipes in.
Oh yeah, I feel
Your
smarter.
personality's completely changed.
I feel like I'm doling out. Very useful. I'm making up little colloquialisms for every caller, and I'm enjoying it.
You really do go straight into character. I'm not sure which character it is, but both you guys look so silly.
Thank you.
And have completely changed. It is 8:00 on the dot. here on the Rizzuto Show. Traffic and weather, here is Lern.
And it's brought to you by Worldwide Technology Raceway, the Confluence Music Festival with Ludacris, Riley Green, and more, and the NASCAR Cup Series is happening June 1st and 2nd. Get your tickets at www.raceway.com. EMS responding to an accident reported on Highway K at Waterford Crossing. Also an accident on Tesson Ferry and Mattis. EMS there as well. Stormy this week. It starts today. Usually it's going to happen after 1 o'clock, let's say. It's going to be sporadically raining all over the St. Louis area. High of 72, low of 60 tonight. It's 63 right now. And your point weather brought to you by Martin Jetco. Heating and air conditioning more reliable than your St. Louis weather.
It's Monday, and that means up next, Sexy Time Fun Facts.
Ooh.
Welcome back to the Rizzuto Show. Rizz is on vacation. He made it safely down. Frontier Airlines got him down with no padding on his seat. He didn't go backwards. Whatever. I'm sure we're going to hear all about it, about the complaints. He's down in the Dominican Republic enjoying himself, having a good time. We're having a good time here without him. It's all good. Almost the entire show is together. We haven't been together as all five of us in a couple weeks now, but later this week, Rizz will return and we'll all be together. You can watch us on the Mick Ultra Studio Cams right now on YouTube, on the Points YouTube channel. And then, of course, always get a hold of us, RizzShow at 1057thepoint.com. You can get a hold of us on our social media at RIZZ Show. But it is Monday, and on Monday, we do things like 3 and 5, and we do things like this. Sponsor.
Oh, boy. This is for...
And in true fashion, we do have a great sponsor for this.
Yes, Patricia's, where fun and fantasy meet.
Okay, so if you don't trust artificial intelligence not to steal your job, would you trust AI to set you up in an arranged marriage?
No.
Why is that?
No.
No?
I don't trust anybody. I don't trust humans to put me into an arranged marriage. So why would I trust a machine?
You don't back
Worked
the
out
matchmaker.
okay for you?
The BFF role,
No.
the matchmaker role.
I mean-
Haven't you played that role a few times?
I mean, I've hooked people up where they've had sex.
Oh.
And they don't. I mean, I'm not like,
Do
you two
that.
need to get married. Like,
Nope.
if AI could look at a list of guys, like, say I were single, and then just based on those guys, it was like, this is the person who's going to be the most compatible for you to, date, not marry. I think that's a bit much.
I thought you were responsible for a marriage or two. Why did I think that?
No, I'm responsible for a couple of long-term relationships of introducing two people.
Close enough.
Close enough. But this is crazy sounding.
Yeah, dating apps have now streamlined the matching and, quote, meeting process for better or worse. And now AI could even go on the dates for you. The founder of Bumble says it could be possible in the, quote, near future to have an AI dating concierge, essentially an avatar, and that concierge could go on a date with another person's dating concierge. All right? You following along? So my AI guy and your AI gal go on a date and figure out some stuff. They wouldn't have to waste money. Scott loves that.
Yeah.
Or have a whole evening on, a bad fit. They could breeze through hundreds of these dates in no time, and then they'd give you the person or people that you should actually meet in person. Dating apps are already using data and algorithms to help find you matches, so it's unclear how the virtual AI dates would enhance that, but they're saying it would go really further into the details, and they would have virtual conversations. The AI could make determinations based on how the other person's avatar answers your questions. Also, you'd be able to stay up all night talking to your concierge about the process, like, quote, I've just come out of a breakup. I've got commitment issues. That information could further train the concierge, and the AI could also give you tips and suggestions on how to communicate with dates in real life. So basically, you would have full-on conversations with this AR helper of yours and tell him, I've got trust issues, and Rafe just broke my heart, and he was the man of my dreams, so I don't know if I'm ever going to get over that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This can happen a lot. And, these AI people are going to hear a lot about Rafe.
This is how they get to us, though. Everybody's worried about taking our jobs. The emotional connections to people is where AI is going to really screw up the world. Okay? If you have I'm here to say, if you have a hard time going out there and dating, that's a real problem that all of us will have or have had at one point. And that's just part of life.
Yeah, it's supposed to be awkward.
It's supposed to be awkward and weird. And you're supposed to find that deep connection and that little magic that happens.
Yeah.
AI can't generate that. And if you start to allow it to take over the emotional response to things, we are so effed. Like, you have to have that emotional connection.
Son, the oldest piece of technology is the human heart.
That's right.
Well, I don't think your concierge is going to come back and say, all right, listen, your wedding date is this.
I like this.
Thank you.
I mean, it's saying this is all going to be stuff that happens prior to it giving you a match.
If I'm ever single again, I don't want it. I don't want AI guy doing the concierge with this little robot machine trying to get in this heart. Hell no.
Yeah.
Hard take.
And it said it can give you advice, so it won't be long if you have the Neuralink or something like that in your head, where it can sit there and just tell you exactly what to say the entire time, so it's like perfect.
Yeah.
Which will never be perfect because it'll seem so robotic.
Well, to be clear, none of this concierge stuff is in the works right now.
Okay.
They're talking about how it could become the future of dating sooner or later. So obviously that's where we're heading, especially if the Bumble guys. If the Bumble guys weighing in on that, this is going to ruffle some feathers. I'm just saying that right now. A relationship expert wrote an article on the reasons why you should never, ever marry your high school sweetheart.
I know a lot of high school sweethearts that are happily married.
I know a couple as well. Agree or disagree? Here are the 3 reasons that you should never, ever marry your high school sweetheart, according to an expert. 1, you barely know yourself, let alone him, when you met.
Okay.
You were trying on different selves as a teenager, trying out different activities and ways of being. You didn't fully and truly know and understand yourself. You were too busy trying to figure out why your best friend would no longer speak to you, why your butt was so much bigger than everybody else's, or where to get a fake ID. Your 20s are the time when you start understanding what really makes you tick, and you don't want to find somebody who winds you up all the way, all up in the right ways as an adult, not as a late adolescent. So you want to find somebody that is appeasing your adult needs rather than just your teenage needs. Unconsciously, it's subconsciously, right? I hate when people say that. Unconsciously means you're knocked
asleep,
out.
Yeah.
Right.
Subconsciously, you may be trying not to change the person that you sense developing because you don't want to upset the balance as well. So you're not, it's basically saying you're kind of not letting them bloom as well. So it's nice to get to know who you are in your 20s and then kind of live it out in your 30s. That's this person. Remember, it's going to ruffle some feathers. This is someone else's opinion. Number 2. You both still have a lot of growing up to do, and you're going to change a lot.
Oh, yeah.
You may accidentally get locked into being the person that you were when you met instead of feeling capable of growth on your own. I mean, how are you going to grow in all the kinds of new and exciting ways if you have your sweetheart watching you every step of the way? It is possible that you don't want to take the risk of being by yourself. Maybe you're only staying with him or her because you're afraid of change, afraid of striking out on your own, all alone. If you ever find yourself wondering, then you need to explore other people.
Well, doesn't dating in high school and all that stuff, don't you grow at that point too? You're still shifting and changing even when you're dating that person in high school. I don't understand why you quit growing. As soon as you meet someone, you're just done growing?
No. I was going to say, high school sweethearts get a bad rep for this, but really it's all of us. No matter when you're with somebody.
For sure.
And if you're saying, oh, that's not us, you're lying. I mean, Tim and I have been together for 14 years, and we met in our 20s. We got married right at 30. Here we are almost 40. It's crazy how different you can be. And how my therapist describes it is you have 2 people growing parallelly, if that's a word, and then you're going to go outward, and then you're going to come back to each other and go outward. So it's like high school sweethearts have to unfortunately take all of this because we think that we're done growing after high school. That's not a thing. For the rest of time, we're going to continue to grow. And if you're in a long-term relationship, the real challenge is if you can overcome and grow together, and how does that look for you? And some people make it and some people don't. So I get what they're trying to do here and pin this on high school sweethearts, but I know at least 2 high school sweethearts who they've been through it all together, man. And they've grown hugely together over time, and they make it work. And they're not the same as they were when they were 18. They're 40 years old now.
Yeah, I know a couple of really good examples. But I mean, I also am totally in support of the figure out who you are first.
Sure.
And that does take pretty much your whole 20s. Some people are still figuring out their stuff in their 70s. I went through I was just watching some interview with Chris Pine on, what's your favorite podcast?
Armchair Expert?
Yeah, is that Dax Shepard?
Yeah, that's Dax.
Yeah, Chris Pine was on there and he was saying Chris Pine goes, or Dax goes, you were that guy in high school that like dated all the gals, right? You're like, you were a good looking dude, and he's like, no, dude, I was a total nerd. I didn't bloom until way later. I was super self conscious. I was all this kind of stuff, and he goes, in fact, I went through a lot of my adolescence, like an adolescent phase in my 30s, and he goes, it almost brought me down, dude.
Sure.
And he was kind of speaking my language. You remember, I was like living the rock and roll lifestyle, not the rock and roll lifestyle that you think, but the rock and roll schedule and understanding for like over a decade or longer. And there was a lot of, when he said that, it really like kind of smacked me in the face. I realized like, man, I went through a lot of adolescent-y types of phases in my 30s.
Sure.
That could have brought me down.
But you also had to grow up really early, right? Because you had babies so
I
early.
did, dude.
So
So,
you
like,
almost did it backwards. You know what I'm saying? Like
my
you
life
had
was
to
all
get
over.
mature. No, I think it's fine, but to that point, like, it's okay to continue to grow. You don't have to ever stop evolving as a person.
Yeah.
And if you're with the right person, they will let you evolve, and they will also continue. It'll be this great exchange. So I don't know, high school or not.
You can't control when you find your person either.
Right.
You might find them when you're young. You might find them when you're 50. Mm-hmm. You might find them at timing's not always going to be perfect for that. Right. So
you believe in your person? Are you a one, like there's somebody made for me?
I think, yeah, maybe more than one even. But I think that you find your people in life for sure. And I think that when you find them, like, it's a blessing. And it comes at weird times, man. It's not always going to be perfect. And sometimes it don't match up when you need it to. And it might not be the perfect. I mean, 16 may not be the perfect time to find your person. It'd be a lot easier to. I don't think 60 is the perfect time either, but I'm sure that's happened for some people. So it's like, and no matter when you find them, if you decide to try to make a life together, there's going to be growth, like you guys are talking about. And you got to have somebody that's like, gives you space to be yourself and grow and is your cheerleader, but not, because we've all seen those people that like start to like, your identity comes from your relationship. Mm-hmm. You had friends get in like relationships where they're like, start to draw the identity from it's no longer like, they almost lose their individuality. And I think that good partnerships leave space for individuality and growth, and you get on the same. You got to get on the same page. Kind of what Lern said. There's times that there's a fork in the road, and you find your way back to each other. Yeah. You got to work for it sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's neat whenever folks seem, like you're going to be ahead in some areas of life, and it's just interesting whenever it's those folks that just know that's the person for them, and they're excited, and they prosper in their marriage from high school all the way through, and they're just like, man, that is really neat. What an advantage.
It is
have
really
that person
cool.
by your side and help you.
It is really cool, but when you have a kid and they're 19.
Yeah.
I'm saying when you have a kid and they're 19 and they're like in love, you're like, God, please don't.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
From the parents' perspective, it's much different.
I'm telling you, dude, everything
But you're
changes.
not thinking of it from any perspective other than like security and finance.
Yeah,
It tends
for sure.
to be where a parent's mind goes.
Yeah, you
Like,
start
it's gonna be
thinking
so
like-
much harder. Getting married young is hard. Having kids young. I know that's what I thought.
Yeah,
We
you
both
start
were
thinking
young
about
dads.
medieval kings, and you're like, you're just a kid. Like, don't make big decisions right now. This is tough. I know what's best for you. You don't. It's one of those things. Number 3 on and you know what? Just going into that with my wife and I, like we talk about this all the time. We're so bummed. We know that we met each other at the perfect time because otherwise we wouldn't have met. Like, it just wouldn't have happened.
You wish you had more time together.
Yeah, like we're like the perfect match. We are a true perfect match, and it wouldn't have happened if it didn't happen. On the backs of horrible tragedies for she and I in our personal lives and some other stuff from before that. But the fact of the matter is, like, we're sad that we didn't meet like when we were like 20 and didn't have this high school thing that we could have had
But isn't it
15
cool to
years
know
together.
that she exists?
Oh, dude, it's the best.
That's real.
It's the
That
best.
The
I mean,
person that was for you was out there the whole time.
We're just so
That's
thankful
wild.
and so grateful. But every once in a while we get a little selfish about it and we're like, that would have been cool. That'd have been super cool. Number 3 on this relationship experts is they say you should try to experience relationships with more than just one person. I'm not going to talk about the details. I'll put it up on the blog. I'm sick of that story. Here's a lesson for single people on the dating scene.
That story, dude.
Yeah.
I broke up with
Wait,
that
is
story.
that
it wasn't for me.
while you're still
AI just told that story. Moon broke your heart. He didn't finish reading you on the air.
Here's a lesson for single people on the dating scene. You do not have to be attractive to be hot.
That's right.
Thank God.
Sure, that's like 95% of it.
That's a bummer.
But
No.
there are other contributing factors besides your face and body. People on social media are talking about the unexpected things that make someone hotter. And it actually makes me feel a little bit better about humanity. Here are some of the highlights. Number 1, the ability to be silly or have fun with a dumb joke.
Hell yeah.
So silliness. Silliness is hot.
Playfulness
Hop on.
is huge.
He puts the cane, or the cane.
1 for 1.
He puts the pipe back in his mouth. Number 2 is they don't have to actually enjoy all of your favorite movies and music, but they have to take your hobbies and favorites seriously.
That's a big thing for sure.
Or when they can be interested in something that you're passionate about just because it is your interest. That's a big hotness factor. Bam. Number 3, being polite and friendly to people in public, especially workers.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a duh. And I love it when people come out with, such a revelation. They're like, oh, if they don't treat a waiter well, then I'm out. Like, yeah, that's how it is for all of us.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Can you imagine being somebody like, yo, I love how you just cursed that person out.
That was sick,
I love
bro.
how you didn't say thank you for your ice water.
I saw that on a professional level this weekend. Like someone I know who was being a turd, and then someone who could help them entered the room, and they turned into a totally different person. And I'm like, you're a disgusting human.
Yeah.
In my brain, I was like, you are not a good person. They were being like mean to the staff of the place we were at. And then a famous comedian walked in, and their tired demeanor, it was like someone flipped a switch.
Gross.
And I was like, you are a gross human.
Weird.
I do not want to be friends with you.
Super weird.
It was weird, but it's true.
Number 4 is showing empathy. It's so hot.
Empathy's so hot right now.
That's right.
Girl.
Number 5, making
I
eye
feel for you.
contact. Wow, what a reach that one is. Making eye contact.
Going back to the number 1 thing about silliness, my sister was crapping all over me this weekend because we were talking about the movie The Holiday with Cameron Diaz, Kate Winslet, Jude
My
Law,
wife loves that
and
movie.
Jack Black. And I was like, yeah, I'm on a holiday. And she was like, oh, yeah, and you're shacking up with Jude Law. And I'm like, absolutely not. I'm shacking up with Jack Black. I'm Kate Winslet in this movie. And she's like, ugh. I go, are you kidding? Jack Black is hot. He's hot. He's fun. He takes his shirt off at Foo Fighter shows. He's so much damn fun. That's hot to me. Just want to put that out.
The silliness factor. It definitely was. It played a role in my wife and I's relationship. She's like, you left the weirdest, silliest impression ever, and I couldn't get it out of my mind. Like, you were the weirdest dude that I'd ever met. And I said, thanks, man. I appreciate that. How she still talks about that. Like, that was one of the big things that kept her interested. Number 6 is they put the needs of others before their own. Number 7 is they enjoy reading books or just learning about new things in general and aren't afraid to try new things. Number 8 is they do the right thing, even if it makes them look bad. Someone said, decent people will always will only do what's expected, but good people will go the extra mile to do the right thing, even if nobody's watching. Number 9 is the ability to adapt in any situation and not allow adversity to get to them. And number 10, and somebody said, this is controversial, but I look favorably on people who are friends with their exes, or at least don't talk undeserved crap about them.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Wow.
that's...
How many on that list did you check, Rafe
Dude,
Williams?
I'm hot as
As F.
fudge, brother. I've been trying to make eye contact with everybody in the room during this entire segment, and no one wants to look at me. I've just been staring a hole in each of you.
Well, if anybody's in trouble, maybe you're in the doghouse, try some flowers. $7.99 for a dozen carnations. Because if you've done something to anger or upset your partner, there's a bunch of, will a bunch of carnations make it better?
I found out women don't like carnations, right?
They're a filler flower.
That's right.
They think they're cheap, so that's the bad one.
Yeah.
Because I learned that. I thought they were beautiful. I bought my wife some, thinking
not a
like,
bad flower.
this is
They're
so
fine.
cool. And then I learned that.
You know where they learned that is
wasn't
Sex
cool.
in the City because Charlotte says they're a filler flower. Don't trust. There's tons of people that love carnations.
But what's funny is my wife ended up realizing you know what, they are so colorful and beautiful. So she bought them for a friend of hers. So it worked.
Here's a whole study that says save the flowers for romantic stuff. Don't say sorry. Don't try to get out of the doghouse with flowers. They say number 1, you should be honest with yourself about what happened and why. And if you want to regain harmony in a relationship, own up to what you did or what you said. Be honest with yourself. Are you clear about what happened that might have upset or hurt your partner? If you're not, ask them to please help me understand. Use those words, Scott. Please help me understand.
Please help me understand.
The answer may surprise you. Explore your motives. Were you acting from long-held resentment or anger on your own? Were you not thinking, or was something else behind what happened? Before you can genuinely make amends, you've got to understand what happened and why from your perspective. To be in the doghouse in a relationship means you have made a mistake that's led to conflict and disconnection. Because of what you did and what your partner thinks you did, they want nothing to do with you for the time being. Now you're not sleeping on the couch, but out in the backyard in the doghouse. Now you're like fully like in trouble. Stereotypically and historically, this phrase refers to a man who did something so wrong his girlfriend or wife is irate. Today, anyone in a relationship can find themselves in the doghouse. You may have gotten there by forgetting an anniversary, breaking a promise again, being consistently late for dates, getting caught flirting, texting with your ex, or watching porn, saying something hurtful, demeaning, rude, or unkind. You're supposed to take responsibility for what you did or what you said. Replace flowers with a follow-through. Make sure that you follow through on whatever promises that you've made.
Be a weird bouquet of flowers to buy.
Yeah.
Sorry I got caught watching porn.
Here's some carnations.
Here's some lilies.
Oh, let me take the $8.
Here's some porn lilies.
I don't
for
want
you.
your porn pot
Also,
lilies.
like, why would you need to buy a bouquet of flowers because you watch porn? That's crazy.
And finally, I thought this was interesting. Before we get to the sex toy review, there are many ways to flirt, but one tactic is to strike up a conversation by asking, "Hi, so what do you do for a living?"
Oh, no.
This is the modern version of that. According to a new survey, 52% of people who are currently dating say that they've been on a date with somebody that they met on LinkedIn. That number jumped 61% with people between 35 and 40 years old, which is pretty wild. Here's some other ways of meeting that led to future dates. Blind dates, up to 48% right now.
Good for them.
Right on.
Social events, down to 45%. Popular dating websites like Match, OkCupid. What are some of the other ones?
Farmers only.
Grinder.
Yeah,
Grinder.
Well, I think
Tinder.
those are the apps. We're talking about websites here.
I learned a lot about Grindr
Plenty
this
of fish.
trip.
Does it
learn
work
a lot about
You did?
Grindr?
Yeah.
It works great.
Because of your friend? Is he
Yeah.
on Grinder?
Yeah.
What
yeah.
did you learn?
He was telling me all sorts of cool stuff, man. Like stuff the straights would never do, and maybe we should.
Like what?
He said he could. It's so customized. He's like, I can get whatever I want. Because I was like, how are things going? You know, like, how's dating? And he goes like, I'm enjoying being single because Grindr gives me everything I need. And I go, what do you mean? And he said, you can do the boyfriend experience where if somebody just wants to come over and cuddle and watch a movie, you can specifically ask for it. That's what they do.
Amazing.
You can do the let's get wild, bang it out,
Right.
whatever. Meet me behind a truck stop. He's like, you can do that if that's your. It's like everything is so specifically catered. And I'm like, yeah, the straight people would never do that.
Yeah,
there
we
is
don't
no
have
app like that. We don't have those little boxes that are like, looking for a straight bang tonight, or I want to cuddle and hang out.
That's
You
not
can
what
learn
Tinder,
something from Grindr.
that's not what Tinder's kind of doing, or
I don't think it's that specific, but I'm not on the app, so I don't know.
They're saying that
I'm not on the apps.
45% of people are still meeting on popular dating websites, 40% at bars and clubs, 39% cafes and restaurants, 39% on the apps, Tinder, Bumble, Grindr, all those. Work events, 33% now. Gym and fitness centers, 31%. Sports clubs, 30%. Sexuality exclusive apps. Those are the Grinders, the Her, oh shoot, there was another
Redheads only.
Redheadsonly.com.
26% there. Commuting and traveling, 26%. Luxury dating apps like Elite Singles or The League, 25%. And social media, just as, sliding into DMs on Instagram, Facebook, and all that kind of stuff, is up to 24%. And man, am I glad I am out of that world. But, Rafe, I know you're in a different world, and it involves this kind of stuff.
That's
All right, what do we got, dude?
wow. Well, in honor of Mother's Day, something for the moms out there. I had to dig deep on the internet to find this, but I found something for the moms that maybe a new mom, and you're postpartum, and you got to take care of your lady bits down there, and your partner needs to be a little more understanding. It's called the O-Nut Depth Limiting Rings. That's right. O-Nut. One word, O-H-N-U-T. Depth Limiting Rings. $75 on the pelvicpeople.com. A revolutionary solution for more comfortable sex, postpartum, and beyond. You control how much goes in.
Okay, now I understand.
Explore your favorite positions and experience deep penetration without sacrificing sensation for either of you. With 4 stretchy, stackable rings that go around the base of the penetrating partner, you can customize how deep you want to go or need them to go. Now you can breathe easy and just focus on what matters the most, each other. Avoid those unwelcome jolts of pain and control how deep penetration goes with Own It. Painful sex or dyspareunia, I probably said that wrong, can happen for a whole range of reasons, including endometriosis, adenomyosis, pelvic floor dysfunction, interstitial cystitis, fibroids, pelvic inflammation, pelvic floor muscle spasm, menopause, cancer treatments, chronic vulvar pain, post-surgical vaginal swelling, postpartum pain / sex post-baby.
That's a heck of a description.
That's a heck of a description.
I like it.
But it's just letting you know.
This is more of a public service announcement.
It is. Sometimes sex toy of the week. Look, it's not all tongue-in-cheek, guys. Sometimes it's a good message.
Sometimes
today's the day. It's for the moms out there. Couple of reviews. Finally, those O-nuts should be dipped in gold because that's how much they're worth. My husband and I have been married for 15 years, and we've had a very small window of enjoyable sex. Bummer. I have endometriosis, interstitial cystitis, and pelvic floor dysfunction. My saint of a physical therapist recommended these, and I was pretty skeptical because it seemed like we had tried everything. Well, I tell you, these rings have made a difference. I mean, all the difference to our sex life. And it's just as pleasurable for him. Please get the word out. You got to try these. I'm so excited to have sex, finally. 5 stars. Wow.
Nice.
Amazing.
It's crazy. One more review. So much more comfortable. My husband and I have been married for 5 years, and I was never fully comfortable having sex. I now have realized it was because I was constantly tensing up due to slight discomfort from too deep penetration. Now I'm able to relax and actually enjoy sex now. The rings are also comfortable for my husband. His only complaint so far has been an occasional issue with the vibration part that causes him to lose some of his erection if it starts to sit wrong. It's only happened a few times, so we just don't use the vibrating ring every time. The pieces are very easy to put on / take off and clean. We sometimes add more or less rings, depending on the position. And it's nice, and it doesn't take long to switch between the amount we need. If your man is a little too big for you, fellas, we've all had that conversation at home, right, boys?
Right.
Oh, man. It's
Been there, right, guys?
Yeah.
Finally.
We've got 3 of these.
This is nice.
I had to order 3 sets. If your man is a little too big for you, I seriously cannot recommend these enough. Definitely a total game changer for our sex life. Now I actually look forward to it. Whereas before, I feel like I was just putting up with having to do it. Well, that's a bummer. But 5 stars. They found the O-Nut depth limiting rings. Check them out.
How nice is that? Thank you for sacrificing your voice for that review as well.
Yeah, it started to go there. I apologize to everyone that was like, is he fading into the abyss?
He just couldn't take it anymore, man.
It's going.
I'm trying to find, because that really was.
It's going.
I'm trying to find, because I want that. That's what I want.
I forgot we recorded this earlier.
Thank you.
Let's do it again.
Thank you.
That's perfect. Too many freaking buttons.
I know.
Too many things going on.
You're doing great, Moon.
We have a backtrack
thanks,
on
thanks
this.
for the encouragement,
You're like an
guys.
octopus over there with
Thanks
all
for the
your
encouragement.
arms flying everywhere.
It's 8:39 on the Rizzuto Show. Traffic and weather. Here's Lern.
And it's brought to you by Worldwide Technology Raceway, the Confluence Music Festival with Ludacris, Riley Green, and more. And the NASCAR Cup Series is happening June 1st and 2nd. Tickets available at www.raceway.com. Nothing to report. You're excellent at driving this morning. It's going to be stormy this week. It begins later today around noon. 72 will be the high, a low of 60. Right now, it is 65 out there. Your point weather brought to you by Martin Jetco. Heating and air conditioning more reliable than your St. Louis weather.
News is up next.
Rizzuto Show. Happy birthday, Rizz.
Happy birthday, Rizz. Indeed, Rizz is in the Dominican, but we are live all week. He'll join us later this week, and we will all be back together again. Don't forget to watch us on the Mick Ultra Studio cams. You can always email us at RizzShow@1057thepoint.com. And on our socials at RiZZ Show, a couple of the fellers and or gals are checking the Twitters. And our other stuff. We had a great weekend filled with social media stuff. Rafe is back from the Netflix as a Joke Festival. Huge success for Lern and her family. A doctor, graduating lawyer now over in Colorado.
That's right.
Very, very cool.
I am a lawyer.
Scott saw a great movie and was also a part of the Punk Rock Disney show, Can You Feel the Punk Tonight? We had a great time. If you missed any of that, make sure you check out the podcast and listen to the intro today. But right now, it's time for some news.
How was Convy on your show?
Convy was amazing.
I got Tim Convy at my Airbnb for one night.
Oh, yeah?
3 hours of sleep, young dad, and he was like, I got to go do a Disney show, man.
Yeah.
And I go, hang in there, kid.
Dude, I can't imagine. Yeah, so he was here. We had rehearsal on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then he's like, I got to fly in a couple hours to L.A. I didn't even know he was on the festival. And then he's,
Came out for one show.
Yeah, did one show. I think he did he do 2 sets? Just the one?
Just one.
Came out to L.A., did that, and then flew back early the next morning. And he and I were going back, running around town. We went over to Johnny Brock's. Special shout out to them for providing the majority of the costumes that we were all wearing. And he was putting that together, and we're getting this and we're getting that and putting the whole show. I can't imagine. I'm a tired guy, and that dude did all of that kind of stuff with 2 young children at home, including a brand new baby.
A brand new baby.
Shout out to hero Tim Convy. Your news is brought to you by
Energy Stars Heating and Energy. They are cooling you as well. Preferred partner of Ameren, Illinois, to make your home comfortable.
Let's start with some local news. This is a bummer. I haven't seen the update on this, so please let me know via social media or something if this has been updated. But as of this morning when I came in at 3, a 12-year-old was missing, reported missing in North St. Louis County. Ariana Jamerson was reported missing on Friday after she left her home on the 5600 block of Eagle Valley Drive, which is near the Norwood Hills Country Club. Police said that Ariana is about 5'4", black hair, brown eyes, last seen wearing a black hooded sweatshirt with butterflies on it and black leggings. Anybody with information on Ariana, please call 911 of the St. Louis County Police Department. That's 636-529-8210. So hopefully that word gets out there and we have some good news pretty soon. Also in local news, guys, it's strawberry picking season. So if you grow your own, you probably already knew that. But if you'd like to do the work for somebody else, well, Eckert's is having their strawberry festival the next few weekends. You can pick fresh berries, take home, or enjoy some of the sweet treats at the country store. Workers say that the warm spring this year, because of that, the strawberries are actually ready earlier than usual.
Is the strawberry the best berry? Blueberry, raspberry, blackberry, strawberry. Out of those, is it the top-notch one?
No, blueberry for me.
Blueberry. We've been getting giant blueberries, too. We did it on accident at first, but have you had these, the giant ones?
No.
You know, a lot of times when we like super steroid our fruit and we get it so big and it's like big stuff, like it loses flavor.
Yes.
You know those like stupidly giant watermelons are just worthless?
Yeah.
Do these giant blueberries. Best berry, hands
Full of flavor.
down. They're just
So
the
you're
best.
a blueberry fan.
I'm a blueberry fan.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about going up to Michigan, to Grand Haven, is they have the blueberries everywhere.
Is that your favorite?
Dude, it's so good.
You know,
especially the Michigan blueberries; those are legit.
I know the blueberry is the easiest, right? Because the seeds are non-existent essentially. And I know blackberry gets a bad rep because the seeds. But dude, you get like a perfectly plump blackberry.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's worth all of the seeds going in between your molars for a couple of days. It's perfect.
You're right. And it's always cheaper. You know how like raspberries are like 7 times the
they're
price?
2 for $5.
I only know that because I demand. We have fruit everywhere in the house, and I'm always like, we need more raspberries. And my wife's like, have you seen the price of them recently?
Sure.
I'm always no, absolutely not. Raspberries are apparently expensive, and blackberries are cheap as heck. What's your favorite berry?
Blueberry.
3 blueberries
Can't
in
be
the
beat.
house.
I mean, they're great. Don't get me wrong. I'll
Too
eat a blueberry.
versatile.
But I love a blackberry.
Elderberry is pretty yummy.
I thought you were making an argument for strawberry, and no one here made an argument for strawberry.
No.
Which makes me feel good.
Yeah, I like a strawberry.
Me too.
I do
It's just
too.
not top berry.
When I go to buy berries, I'm like, I want something else.
Do you eat the grass? You eat the top?
Yep.
You do?
Sometimes, yeah.
Oh man, I should do that.
It's sour.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife's always like, you can eat that. But I
don't know if it's a little one. I don't need like the big, voluptuous ones.
Bananas up there too, though.
Oh, it is a berry. That's right.
Blueberry's got a good range too. Of strawberry's got to be perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
It's either too like
tart,
rigid and tart, and the texture's weird, or it's like then it's soft and gross, and all you taste are the crunchy seeds.
Fibrous
You got to do
strawberry's
chocolate.
the
That's why
worst.
they do chocolate on it to cover up the mistakes that
Nature
may
made.
be in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, blueberries are the best.
All right, cool. Thanks.
I'm terribly
That's your
sorry.
news.
I'm terribly sorry to have put Barry news in between two sad stories. I do have another
Aw,
sad
man.
story. This is
That's how we do it on this show.
This is
and
my
I like
bad.
it.
Listen, I'll have it down by Wednesday.
We have news on Chuck Berry, Todd Berry.
Daryl Strawberry.
That's right.
And
This
Ethan Berry.
is sad news. A Troy, Missouri woman passed away on Saturday after an ATV that she was driving overturned in a field in Lincoln County.
Oh, my
Missouri State
gosh.
Highway Patrol crash reports that a 67-year-old was transported to the funeral home shortly after. The crash happened noon Saturday in a grassy field out in Lincoln County. Highway Patrol says a Yamaha ATV with a sprayer unit attached to the vehicle's utility rack was overturned, ejecting her. And I just want to say, as we're getting closer to summer here and everything, like that stuff, just be careful, man. Be careful out there.
Yeah. It's
Those
trauma
kinda-
season.
Yeah.
Don't ride on the back with your cousin Moon driving.
I'm terribly sorry about that. I damaged. I don't know if you guys knew this story, but it was we were riding around on an ATV as teenagers. We were 17 years old, 18 years old.
Yeah, something 16, 17.
And it was let's head back home, and I'm driving and Scott's right behind me on one of those little rack kind of things, not even like a seat, but like the back of an
yeah.
ATV
Right.
rack. And it was like he taps me, he's like, "Let's head on back home." Oh yeah, you're right, but one more, I'm the one more guy. There's like one more something, and we see kind of like a little bit of land right in front of us. I was like, one more jump. Let's see how fast we can hit that thing, see if we can get some air. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a solid 5 feet of air.
Yeah, we did
Jeez.
good.
And we landed, and this guy, I'm pretty sure, broke his back.
Dude,
I think we
You broke
compressed.
your back that day?
Yeah, we really did. We compressed his spine. He's had back pain ever since.
Yeah, that's why I have to do those stretches and everything.
And he was laid out in that field for a couple hours. It was bad. It was really bad news.
We just stared at the clouds.
Bad cousin of the year award. I'm really sorry. A YouTuber streaming, YouTube streamer in LA broadcast herself smoking weed. Let me find the audio here because this is ridiculous. She broadcast herself smoking weed and then driving. And
boy.
she ran over something. Let me just play you the audio here, okay?
I know that he does hear those voices. They're not fake, but I wonder.
Hear that?
Oh my God, are you okay? No. I didn't see her. Why are you not looking? I was looking. I didn't see you. Oh my God, you guys. I don't know what just happened, but it wasn't good. All right, guys. Here's your content for the day.
Oh my God, guys!
God.
I ran over a pedestrian. It went thunk.
Here's your content for the day.
Ran over a
She
pedestrian.
sounds cool.
She was on weed.
She was broadcasting
She was
herself
on
driving
weed.
and smoking. Like that was like the point of the broadcast, apparently. And then she ran over a pedestrian. Claims that she was not arrested, and the person that she hit was, quote, fine. She's fine. After years of delays and postponements, Real ID will take effect in 2025. We were talking about this last week. The Department of Homeland Security is reminding U.S. citizens to have Real ID compliant state-issued driver's license or identification by May 7th of next year. So you have 1 year, a little less than 1 year. The original deadline was 2020. Pandemic happened. ID standard was pushed back twice because of the backlog of paperwork. Now, without a Real ID, you will not be able to board commercial aircraft or gain access to certain facilities. I was trying to see if that has to do with trains, like if you're doing interstate trains.
Right.
Can you guys see if you can look that up? I wasn't 100% sure, but what I'm understanding is any sort of interstate travel eventually is going to need this, right? Not just the domestic flights.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I would imagine as well. We were talking about AI before. TikTok wants to separate the real from the artificial, so the social media giant has officially started labeling content using AI. Last Thursday, they issued a statement saying AI enables incredible creative opportunities, but can confuse and mislead viewers if they don't know the content is AI generated. And right now, you guys know as well as I do, it's getting really, really good.
It is.
The statement continued, labeling helps make that context clear, which is why we label AI-generated content made with TikTok AI effects and have required creators to label realistic AI GC for over a year. So they're saying that they're making content creators label it if you use AI. And the only thing that they're marking is if you use their AI effects, it will label it for you.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So you're still going to have to hope that the content creator is labeling it for their individual AI use.
So don't think that
And I feel
because
bad
something
for all
you
the
see,
Cyclops out there that have to do this.
don't think something you see just because it doesn't have the stamp isn't possibly AI.
Right.
TikTok's not looking out for you; they're looking out for themselves, I think.
Yeah.
Some Swiss Army knives are about to become a little less dangerous. Now, I just donated another knife to the TSA
Very sweet.
at our airport because I forgot to pack it away, and they don't like those on planes. Now, these new Swiss Army knives are going to be a little bit more MacGyver-y. The Swiss company that makes the legendary Swiss Army knife is called Victorinox, and they're in the early stages of developing a first range of bladeless products. There's a reason. There's been a plague of knife crime in European countries, which has led to several countries adding stricter bans or restrictions on carrying knives, including Swiss Army knives, just about out and about in the streets. There are already more than 400 different types of Swiss Army knives targeting different jobs, outdoor activities, sports, but until now, they have had every one of them has at least one blade. There are no specifics on the new bladeless knives or when they'll be available, but Victorinox says that they'll act more as tools where a blade isn't usually required, like a version for cyclists or for golfers, like, specialized pieces.
They should just use the Hollywood kind of blade where if you stab somebody, it just goes back inside. And
Oh, I used to have one of
Doesn't do
those as a
anything?
kid.
Yeah.
Those were so cool. You're just stabbing your cousin.
Yeah.
It's like getting you ready. But they never got hurt because it went
you
retracted.
can push a little button, blood squirts out.
It's great. Serial killer starter pack. No big deal.
This is a little bit of an update here. This is a story that Rizz talked about. It must have been a few months ago because it has been in my head ever since. This is I'm about to ruin your day sort of story.
Okay.
At least me. I don't know about you guys. I love the new car smell. I freaking love it.
Yeah.
Like anytime I went to Waterway, they say, would you like lemon or strawberry or new car smell? Even though it's not anywhere near a new car smell, I still want the fake new car smell. That's my favorite. Your morning commute is really trying to kill you, though. Even if you follow the rules of the road, carefully avoid bad drivers, don't use your cell phone, keep the music at safe volume, don't smoke, drive an older car to avoid the new car smell carcinogens, and roll the windows up because you don't want to breathe the exhaust. Now here's this. A new study has found that 99% of cars test positive for cancer-causing chemicals in the cabin air. They're from chemicals. There's like chemical flame retardants, which add to the vehicle interiors, like inside the foam, like inside the door, to meet safety standards. Apparently, that stuff can seep into the air that you breathe and can be very bad, especially in the summer when interiors get hot and kind of melty. Not enough to be concerning, though, right? Well, bad news is researchers are concerned, and they say, quote, cars are a significant source of our exposure to all of these chemicals, which are associated with cancer, brain harms, developmental problems, and reproductive issues. The good news, we're only exposed to trace amounts of many of the chemicals in our daily lives, and our bodies are pretty good at processing them, at least for now. This contact is largely unavoidable. The only tip to help you is opening the doors and letting some air clear out before you get in. So if your car's been sitting kind of for a while, like air it out for a few seconds before you get in, particularly on a very hot, steamy St. Louis day. If it's a swamp ass alert, give your car like 40 seconds of its pants off. You know what I'm saying? Like
Which makes sense.
Its doors open. The more air circulation and ventilation, the better. But that's really it. Consumer Reports created a petition urging the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration to ensure that the cancer-causing chemicals are kept out of the cars, or at least reduced, especially ones that do more harm than good. And finally, let's talk about some dogs. There are dog people and there are cat people, but all pet owners can agree on one thing: dogs are much better on road trips.
That's true. I mean, it just says cats go crazy in the car.
In a new survey of dog owners, 92% of them say that they drive with their dogs occasionally. A lot of that is going to the vet or to the groomer, but not all of it. 53% of dog owners will drive their dog to a dog park or a place to go for walks. 34% will take their dogs on road trips. I was wondering, like, how many of you guys actually drive your dog someplace to do something? Because typically we're talking about like New York City apartments, big cities where like dogs are in just these urban areas. Do you guys ever take your dogs places, or do you have the yards or the neighborhoods to kind of walk them?
We have the neighborhood, the yards, but we still go to a lot of places to go hiking and all that stuff. And our dogs are both, they love the water. So if we can get them any place with a big body of water, they're going to be very happy.
Awesome. We don't have a yard for the dog, really. I mean, she's got we put her on like a cable out in the grass, but she's got to be around that like pool area, so we take her to a dog park a bunch.
That's nice.
It is nice, but she's not a social dog. So like these dogs come up and they all want to hang, and she's like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah.
Just leave me in my corner by myself. She's very English settery.
Yeah.
You guys take your dogs anywhere?
Yeah, man, I take them, I think Memorial Day weekend. In fact, I haven't told Tina yet, but I rented a cabin on the creek that's dog friendly. I'll probably take them there.
Cool.
Bo's good. My little one's real good in the car. He's chill. He's always gone everywhere with me. He's been in my car since he was a puppy. He just lays down and sleeps. Simba's a little more like that first hour, he's breathing that hot shrimp flavored dog breath. Just a little too hard in the cabin before he'll finally chill, where I'm like, hey, man, it's going to be a while. This is a 6-hour drive. And then he'll finally like settle down and be good.
Well, 53% of dog owners will drive their dog to a dog park, and also 53% of dog owners who drive with their dog say that they'd much rather take their dog on a long road trip than any family member.
That's
I get
funny.
it.
32% say they'll bring their dogs in the car because they sometimes feel guilty leaving their dogs at home, and 23% say they think their dogs don't like staying at home at all. So they try to get them out of the house as much as possible. 70% say their dog is totally chill on car rides. My dog is not totally chill.
I was up, again, in Colorado. There's this little mountain town called Netherland, and there's this really cool record store up there called Boogie Records. And there's a dog that's the shop dog. That's the store dog, right? The owner, his dog is BB, and I got to meet her last year, and she was there this weekend, and there's nothing like a cool, chill dog. And, like, I'm amazed at dog owners that can hike with their animals and not have a leash, but they're so obedient and they just stay with you the whole time.
Yeah,
they're
that's
incredible.
Scott. That's Scott.
Is that like your dogs?
Yeah, my dogs are that way. They'll stay with us, and it's really fun.
I don't have that.
Always dreamed of that and had no clue that
Really?
the Aussie was that cool of a creature. And what's wild is you could open the front door, and they'll sit there unless you say come out.
That's
then
amazing.
They will. Yeah, they don't run
They
off.
really are the best.
That's the opposite of my dog. My dog's a hunting dog, so like when she's off leash, she's like, "See ya, I got a job to do."
I got to go get something.
Yeah, we were at a family Thanksgiving, and
Oh yeah.
his dog decided to take off the leash and just ran through everything. It had the burrs and everything stuck in her hair everywhere, and it was a mess.
That was during the full Jumanji punishment.
Oh,
so,
yes.
so I had a beard like this big. So these guys had to get on with the meal. So they're like already eating Thanksgiving. They're like,
I drove around trying to find her.
Yeah, they drove around trying to find us for a while, but then we were gone. It was just me out in the rain looking for this dog, and we both came back. She was all cut up, found some barbed wire fences. What happened was she saw a whole bunch of deer, and it was just over.
She was gone.
It was over. And she probably covered a few acres, and finally got her back like a couple hours later.
I remember that.
And I came in, and I had burrs stuck all over.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I came in looking like I was
Like Jumanji.
Oh.
like I
You're
was
out in the jungle.
Yeah, and this is a great picture of it. I look like I was in that TV show Alone
I think
for
we
the
posted
last
it.
6 months.
Yeah, it's really funny. And I always felt kind of cool because I'm like, I was about a year into maybe having the Aussie or a few months in. And it was just so funny where she was off leash the whole time, all this stuff. And they're like, all right, let's go find her. And so we open the door. She jumps right in the car and just like,
Yeah.
That's your girl.
I'm jealous. All right, well, that is your news. Up next, we'll get to some Headline Hooshe, maybe some sports if we have some time, and some emails. It's 9:10 here in the studio. Let's get some traffic and weather from Lern.
Yeah, it's brought to you by Worldwide Technology Raceway, the Confluence Music Festival with Ludacris, Riley Green, and more, and the NASCAR Cup Series is happening June 1st and 2nd. Get your tickets at www.raceway.com. Nothing to report on those roadways. Weather-wise, stormy this week. It begins later today. High of 72 today, a low of 60. Right now it's 67 out there, and your point weather is brought to you by Martin Jetco Heating and Air Conditioning, more reliable than your St. Louis weather.
Welcome back to the Rizzuto Show. Yeah, King Scott, that is next Monday.
yeah, not
next
today.
Monday.
I was thinking all weekend I had it today. And
You had it in your head.
May 20th is
Today was the
today.
day.
And I've, clearly.
Why don't you take the afternoon off today, man?
You know what? Thank you. I might
Yeah.
just do that. I might mow and hang out at the house.
After like podcast is up, 10:40, 10:45, you just have the afternoon to yourself.
Are you telling me to vominos and hang out? And,
I'm telling you just to relax, man, and be prepared for the Eagle Call next Monday.
okay.
Next
Yeah, let's not
Monday.
do it today.
Impact
do it next
Life
Monday.
Blood Drive with King Scott. Where is that again?
It is out at First Community Realty over there in Chesterfield. It's their big giant headquarter building. It's awesome, and it's easy to get to on Airport Road.
Very cool. It's going to be a heck of a weekend, man. Point Fest pre-party at Hot Shots Bridgeton, right there on the Rock Road, kind of right down the road from Guitar Center. If you need a landmark,
we're going to have pit tickets.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
And you've been to the Point Fest pre-party before, right?
I haven't. No.
Oh, dude, it's so fun.
No, last year I was at Sonic Temple Festival, so I wasn't there.
That's right. Rafe, you have, right? You went with us last year?
What?
The Point Fest pre-party at Hot Shots.
I did. Yes, it was awesome.
Yeah, super fun. Always a good event. It's always a good, you can tell everybody's jacked for a concert. Yeah. Everybody's like, oh!
Did it fall on the Cinco de Rizzo thing last year?
No, it didn't, because I was at that.
I don't know.
Okay.
But I wasn't at the pre-party.
All right.
Yeah, no, last year was Cinco de Rizzo was in Edwardsville.
I think it was on the 5th of May last year.
That was
Cinco de Rizzo was in Fairview Heights,
Illinois side. Yeah, these typically tend to be
right.
pretty close to Hollywood Casino Amphitheater, so we can just go straight from the pre-party to the party that is Point Fest, featuring Bad Omens, Wage War, Grandson, Avadal, and more. Happening on Saturday, Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. Get your tickets. We'll have another chance to win some Point Fest tickets tomorrow. But first, I got to share this. Your Headline Hooshe is a good one.
And it's brought to you by Mortz Jewelry, the official jeweler of the Rizzuto Show.
A man in Florida, what do you know, Florida, stole a boat for a joyride last Tuesday. What was he wearing, you ask? He was wearing just some underwear and an ankle monitor. A man's ill-fated attempt to take a joyride on a boat he didn't own ended in a watery mess off the shores of St. Augustine, Florida, prompting a flurry of activity on social media. According to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, Anthony Terry, Mr. Terry, found himself in hot water after allegedly stealing a woman's $100,000 boat near Conch House Marina. The boat now afloat but listing heavily, and I don't know, anybody know what that means? Listing heavily?
No.
Leaning or something?
I'm not sure. It became a viral sensation on Facebook with images of the accident spreading pretty rapidly. Describing the scene, one witness shared, "He approached my daughter and her boyfriend in his underwear with a boat bumper tied to his arm, wearing an ankle monitor." Wildlife officers reported that on Tuesday he stole the boat from a private dock located just south of this marina. In this unusual attire, he had some suspicious behavior that raised eyebrows, especially considering he has a prior record.
Man.
He was reportedly on probation for domestic battery, among other things possibly. Further testimony from a concerned boater who wanted to remain anonymous painted a picture of Terry's sailing incapability. Listen to this.
It was fairly clear early on that he had very little boating knowledge. He struggled with basic knots, didn't know where to attach his anchor.
Pretty clear.
Yeah, rock the boat, dude.
Pretty clear that he had little boating knowledge, didn't know whether to attach his anchor, had trouble with basic knots. An investigation is unfolding, and Terry has been charged with grand larceny. Go ahead.
Can you really get in trouble, though, for having a good time? I mean, he's just having a great day.
Yeah, ain't hurt nobody except for a $100,000 boat that he stole. Highlighting the serious consequences of his impulsive joyride. Anthony Terry, you are the Headline Hooshe of the day. It's 9:25 on this fine, beautiful morning. We are going to squeeze in some sports, maybe some emails next. But first, it is your last look at the traffic and weather. Here's Lern.
And it's brought to you by Worldwide Technology Raceway, the Confluence Music Festival with Ludacris, Riley Green, and more, and the NASCAR Cup Series happening June 1st and 2nd. Get your tickets at www.raceway.com. The roads look pretty good for 9:25. Stormy this week, though, beginning later today around noon is when those rain storms are going to start. 73 as the high, a low of 63 tonight. Right now it's 68 out there. Your point weather brought to you by Martin Jetco. Heating and air conditioning, more reliable than your St. Louis weather.
Scott did find out that heavy listing means that the boat is leaning.
Oh, it's leaning?
Yeah, so it took a little bit of water in, and it's leaning. It hasn't.
Thanks a lot,
You'll
Anthony.
sailor you.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Terry. You blew it. That's it for us today. I feel good. Monday in the books.
Yeah.
Rizz is out of town. Thank you, everybody, for sticking with us. I know sometimes you hear that the captain's not on the ship, and you're like, wonder what this is going to be like. But you know what? You guys are cool.
It's pretty normal.
The weirdos,
job.
the weirdos, the listeners. You guys are so supportive. I know we all appreciate that. I so very much appreciate that because this is it's a weird place to be back here, but it's such an honor. I'm so appreciative. I feel so good. And thank you guys for all the help.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you did great, man.
And man, it's going to be a fun week. We'll be back on tomorrow live. Rizz will be back later in the week. Follow our socials. We'll try to update you as he sends ridiculous pictures, hopefully from Dominican Republic. I'm hoping to see him parasailing.
Yeah, I could see him now in those American flag Speedos just flying through the air.
Yeah, I'm sure he took a Speedo.
Little white legs.
I'm excited to hear the stories when he comes back. I think that's it for the day. Anybody got anything else? We got some events coming up. Point Fest is this weekend. Don't forget Point Fest pre-party at Hot Shots Bridgeton. That is Saturday 11 a.m. to 1. And then we'll head over to the big show with Bad Omens, Wage War, Grandson, Avatar, and more. And then, of course, next Monday, a week from today.
If any goofball gets it confused, it's next Monday. I don't know why you'd be misled.
You guys got any
Impact Life Blood Drive.
Anything else going on this weekend? This week?
No, I do. It's kind of a private event, but the St. Louis Apartment Association always has me out to do their hosting for their awards ceremony.
Cool.
And it's this Friday, and man, it is always a party, and I'm excited to be back for like the 4th year in a row. So if you're going to be there, say what's up.
What an honor.
Best man.
What you got, Rafe?
May 31st, June 1st, that's a Friday and Saturday, I am at the St. Charles Funny Bone. I have people emailing me all the time being like, when's your next show locally? And I tell you, and then on June 2nd, you'll all email me again and be like, when's your next show locally? So this is my next show locally. It is May 31st, June 1st. I'm doing 3 shows at the St. Charles Funny Bone, Streets of St. Charles. I'm going to release some new artwork today and start really pushing for it. Tickets are selling, and they're going fast, but I would like to sell all 3 shows out and see all your smiling faces, and we'll probably have some fun surprises on those shows for the people that do come out. So.
And this Friday, right?
And I have a show this Friday at Vices. If you can't make it to the Streets of St. Charles because you're afraid to cross the Mississippi River, then I'll be on that side. At Vices in Redbud.
We love Vices.
Up against high school graduation, I'm told. So we'll see how that show goes.
Nice.
You can take
lucky.
All
I'm
right.
up against the high school graduation. What do you want? You want to commemorate your kids' shining moment, or do you want to laugh at some fart jokes that I have loaded up for you? You decide.
No.
Choose wisely.
No question. Well, boom. There it is. Sign up to be the Team Rizz member of the day. Brought to you by Hot Shot Sports Bar and Grill, proud sponsor of St. Louis Battlehawks. Find all the cacaws at hotshotsnet.com. Today's member, Jessica Heaton.
Jessica.
Yeah,
It's me.
From
Jessica.
It's her, Jessica from East Alton, Illinois. And she wants to hear this song, and we'll see you tomorrow. A real energy up, pick me up with Pearl Jam. See ya.